I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
It's not college basketball. It's Clown time! Let's get ready to rumble! Feel the fire, sense of the rare. It's nice and only know how to wear.
What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck.
I am Double A.
The man, the myth, the legend, Double A, Adamantium Adam. Double A, how's it going, brother?
It was good. Good. Yes.
Good week?
Good week.
Good week. I know you said you got a little rain earlier.
I got drenched in the morning, but I came out dry.
There was no, yeah, that's what happens, right? Yeah, no rain here in San Antonio.
No
though.
rain,
You
but
were
up in Austin,
yeah.
yes, sir. It rained pretty damn hard, so...
Kara is in the house already. Says
nice,
I have
Kara.
the JAFN green shirt.
Very
Perfect.
nice,
The Friday
very
Night
nice.
Faithful. When you hear our topic, Kara, you'll understand why I tried to wear green. I
Green,
guess I was
yeah.
thinking jungle, but
No. I got that right away.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
What's up this week, Double A, in the world of pop culture? Adrenalize me,
Okay.
brother.
We got a trailer for Wednesday. I believe it is, right? Just Wednesday.
Yes, just
Okay.
Wednesday.
We had a lot of mixed reviews on our Friday Night Faithful.
I know. I did not like some of the things I heard.
How are you feeling about it? Is Tim Burton?
It's Tim Burton. I trust him. Trust in Tim Burton. We gave him a whole episode. I like Luis Guzman. He's fucking hilarious. Watch him in traffic. Watch him in waiting.
You know, I'm fine with him too because if they're gonna go to, I guess, the old school way of doing it, fine. Because, you know, besides Raul Julia, I've never seen Gomez look like a hunk before in any of the
previous guy was kind of creepy looking
interpretation
in the show, right? The
yeah.
little short man
Yeah.
with the kind of like squirrely eyes,
Yes,
you know?
yeah, he's
So-
always been drawn kind of like chunky and with that kind of split hair look and
right.
Yeah, I mean,
Like he had that, but he had a little bit of like some perm waves going on. I mean,
So I mean, I'm fine with it. And then I did not know Catherine Zeta-Jones was Morticia.
Neither did I.
Man, oh man, I was
she
like,
looks great. Still a Fox.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah. And the kids, I never really could care less about.
Yeah,
they're just supposed to look, I guess, weird. You know,
yeah,
so.
the little boy. I mean, I guess. Like you said, just looks weird. But the little girl, she looks great. I think.
Do you like how they keep focusing on Wednesday though? Because I've seen the animated movies, the ones they had released with Charlize Theron and Oscar Isaac, and
I have not seen those.
they kind of focus on Wednesday too. I'm like, what's with this whole focus on the Wednesday character all of a sudden? I kind of like it when it's, you know, it's on the family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's okay with me. You know what I mean? Like it does. I haven't seen those new animated ones, so I don't know.
Yeah, like they're really focused on Wednesday. A lot, so I'm kind of like, I wonder why they're doing that for.
Do you feel like the other two focused on Fester?
Those were heavily Fester.
Like they were Fester.
But it felt like it was like the other ones too. You know, like Wednesday and Pugsley still got their time.
Yeah.
Morticia still got her time. You know,
I think it's difficult for some writers to tell a story with like multiple cast members.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, because I remember like in the Ninja Turtles movies, I felt like the first one focused on Raph, the second one focused on Donatello, the third one focused on Michelangelo, and I always felt like Leo got cheated. He never really got a movie about him. I didn't watch those new ones, so I don't know. But you know, I guess it's kind of difficult. You need to look to like the people that do, you know, like the X-Men movies are Wolverine heavy.
Yes,
you know what I mean? They're like Wolverine movies.
Very.
You know, but maybe look to the people that do the Avengers. But again, those characters were kind of built already. You know, think about the big three.
That's true.
So it's
That's
like,
true.
But
we got some comments. Facebook user do not know says get to the choppa. And then I'm guessing this is Jerry. Putting the kids to bed.
But hoping you have a great show. Thanks so much, Jerry D. I'm pretty sure that is you because we know you put the kids to bed
And
around
then
this
Kara
time.
answers my question, why do you always focus on Wednesday? She goes, because Wednesday is the coolest.
Maybe she is the coolest. I always remember that the gif with her doing the little dance, you know?
I love in the 90s movies that, you know, because like Raul Julia had so much charisma. And you know, and I always say
all respect to him.
Him and Angelica Houston as Morticia. I mean, they just had so much charm
Yes.
about him. You know, like you know when they're at the party and he's like, you know, Flora, fauna, I'm blinded by your beauty.
Yeah.
You know, and then Morticia's like, how can I ever compete with two of you? You know, I'm like, man, they're such like great people, like flatterers, you know, and charmers. I'm like,
and I wonder how much of that is
I love
writing
that.
and how much is the directing, and like, of course, they're acting, but those are tight, man. Those are really tight.
Well, Angelica Houston was like has already had like decades of experience.
Oh yeah,
of acting. And then Raul Julia, he's great.
I mean, iconic, both of them. But one of the some of the stuff I had from not our Friday Night Faithful, the Friday Nighters, but other people outside was, people were kind of upset about like the Latino-led cast.
Which is, well, but Catherine Zeta-Jones ain't. That's
right. Not only that, but I mean, I was also
She's Welsh.
Yeah, somebody said specifically, they were like, his first name is Gomez. Like, where do you think that comes from? So.
And then Wednesday, was she Mexican? The actress?
Yes, the little girl's Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to say Mexican, but she's Hispanic, I believe. So
Latino origin.
Latino origins. Okay. Yeah. Let me get it. I want to get it correct though, because I was impressed with her acting in the little bit that we saw.
Yeah, because if they remember Catherine Zeta-Jones from Zorro, well, they're pretty mistaken on that one.
Her name is Jenna Ortega.
Oh.
So I dated Jessica Ortega.
Okay, and then what about the Pugsley kid?
The Pugsley kid is.
They didn't focus on him.
They did not focus on him. I don't even see him in the title cast here.
So okay, well I'm excited. It's Tim Burton. I'm kind of more excited about this one than I am the Munsters.
Honestly, I will agree with you there.
I'm still gonna see the Munsters when it comes out.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
still gonna
totally.
Because I was a huge fan of the show. So
Isaac Ordonez. So that does sound like it. And
okay.
let me see what her origin is real quick. I'm just gonna tap on her IMDb real quick, guys. For Jenna Ortega.
And then Christina Ricci is supposed to be narrating, right?
Oh wow, really? It says her name, but it doesn't say.
I want to say she's supposed to be narrating the show.
Jenna Marie Ortega, born in Coachella, California, so that's like Southern Cali. Like I'm sure.
I mean, California is another big Hispanic, state. Too.
I mean, daughter of mixed Mexican and Puerto Rican parents.
Okay,
so,
there you go.
There you go. Of course, Luis Guzman. We know. Again, watch him in Traffic. Watch him in. Waiting. Watch him in Boogie Nights.
Yeah. Carlito's Way.
It's fucking hilarious, man.
He's great.
The man's a genius, man. Him and Don Cheadle in Traffic. You seen Traffic, right?
No, I've never seen Traffic.
We should watch Traffic.
Okay.
We should watch Traffic for this show.
Okay.
It's great, though. Okay. They have such great chemistry.
I have no problem with the dude at all. I like the dude. Series finale of Better Call Saul was this past Monday. CM, how was it?
Man, Double A, a lot of shows have bad endings. I choked up. It was fucking great.
Don't choke up for that scumbag, CM.
Man, I love Saul, man. It's all good, man. It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, Slippin' Jimmy.
Better Call Saul.
Man,
Better Call Saul.
I was like, fuck yeah. Great to see him with Kim.
A scumbag.
I was like, man, there's a reason why I related to him right away from Breaking Bad. I was like, hey, this is my kind of guy right here, man. Saul, so smart, man. Such a good show. Double A. I really want you to watch it. You get so much more Gus. I know you love Gus.
Oh man,
and man, I mean, just
the whole family, the whole Salamanca shit.
Yes, man. The man that plays Mike Ehrmantraut. Fantastic. It's just great. I actually like it better than Breaking Bad. I know some people might think blasphemy, but I love Breaking Bad. Love it. Like, easily probably a top 10 movie? Show. That one I did not love.
Right.
That felt a little bit like
I don't know what it was. No, I don't know if it was even rushed.
Yeah. I mean, Pinkman was never like my favorite character. I like him a lot, but he's not up there. There's so much characters that come above him.
Right?
Yeah, Mike, Saul, Walter, Gus. You know what I mean? It's like all those to me come before Pinkman. Hell, even the CIA, the DEA, Hank. Hank's a good character, man.
Hank was a fucking
Hank's a good character, yeah.
It always tears me up when I see that scene in Breaking Bad. When he gives
a lot of rough shit.
When he gives her the coordinates, he goes, "Here, this is the coordinates to where Hank's body is." I'm like, man, damn, dude, like at least show some emotion. That was your fucking brother-in-law, there, you know,
I mean,
like
that's that story, man. Walt was.
I know, but I was like, damn, man, man, that was hard. That was hard to watch because I was a big Hank fan.
There's no Walter White. There's just Heisenberg by the end. Yeah,
but this is the way he's just like, this is where his body's at. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Kara referring to Raul Julia.
Chemistry on screen.
Raul Julia and Angelica absolutely agree. They did have bomb chemistry. Agree with you 100%, Kara.
while we're doing the Sandman promoting everything too, I saw Neil Gaiman's kind of been getting a lot of flack for it too. I don't know if you've been seeing a lot of the shit that's been...
No, I had not seen that.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of people that still hate the show, which, I mean, it's not a big majority. I just saw the numbers. They posted the numbers. There's only 2 other shows that have had a bigger week than the Sandman, and it's kind of crazy. It's called Inventing Anna, which I think everyone has saw. And
Stranger Things?
No, and Maid, a show called Maid.
Never heard of either one of those.
Yeah, so
interesting.
it was
Maid like a maid, like
yes,
dusting?
yes,
like a maid?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I don't know what the problem was. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It's kind of like, again, kind of how we go back, how people are shitting on Roger Waters right now because he's getting too political. Pink Floyd has always been political. It's like you said, Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
they're always political. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, they changed minor things. It wasn't big things. I don't know, but I mean,
it's like, were you paying attention? Were you paying attention to the material? You probably weren't.
Probably not.
You know, people probably didn't know that like Watchmen is like hyper political. Like,
yeah,
this,
big.
You know,
oh man, big time with that whole '80s scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a social commentary.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. That's a huge social commentary.
Like huge on all that kind of shit.
You're inspired by the things around you. You know, you write what you know. You know what I mean? So, sorry, I feel like we were in the center of the screen there. You know, and so that's what these artists and creators are doing.
So, I mean, he's been giving it back. He hasn't been like kind of like Kevin Smith. I was kind of upset with Kevin Smith when he kind of like...
Yeah.
Kind of didn't want to talk about it. He's kind of silent.
Kev's not,
Neil Gaiman is telling him off.
Fuck yeah, man.
You know, he's like, you know, you really read, he's like, if you really read Sandman comics, then you would get this.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Good for him, too, because he's the creator. That's the horse's mouth right there.
Because he's seeing the numbers. The numbers are like showing that people are loving this show, and there's only like that select few again.
Yeah.
You know, that's causing a lot of shit. That's trying to cause a lot of shit. And
really cool for me was to see comments on our actual page, Just Another Friday Night Facebook page, from my Aunt Brenda, my dad's sister.
I saw that. Yes.
My Aunt Brenda just, I think, watches TV casually. She has no comic book background. I'm sure she didn't know that. She probably just thought it looked interesting. And she was saying how much she loved it.
I read all her comments.
Yeah,
I liked all her comments.
You know, I guess we could have held off a week and did it, you know, later because we got another episode, right?
But we didn't know, though. See, that's the thing, though. It kind of leaked a little bit. Somehow it leaked, and people like got wind of it, and then they deleted it like almost that next day. They deleted all that kind of stuff. Well, people are calling for it. They're like, there's footage here. There's like everything. There's like long footage of this.
Yeah.
And I think Netflix felt the pressure, like, oh shit, okay, well maybe we should release it. You know.
Hey, why not? Write it while the popularity wave is high, right? And we're gonna go watch it.
It's kind of perfect too, because it's actually where 16 ends, like volume 2 ends. This is volume 3 that they're showing.
Okay.
And then it goes into
the
volume 4, which it follows the main story after that.
Okay.
These are just like 2 little stories in between that.
Almost like in Preacher with like Good Old Boys or like Ancient History.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people, I think they're going to like Cats, but I think they're going to like Calliope a lot lot.
Okay.
That's a really badass story. So
I'm looking forward to watching this episode.
I'm going to watch it as soon as we're finished. As soon as we're done with this, I'm going downstairs, watching Netflix, and putting that shit on.
I told Jess, you know, like I told you last week, we watch it together, which I'm always really happy when we she sticks with me through something. I'm really happy too because she says she wants to start What We Do in the Shadows, and I'm like, all right, great.
You know, speaking of that, I started the first 2 episodes.
Oh, did you?
Fucking hilarious.
I love it. Only gets better.
I love when he's saying about him and the Baron having sex, and he's like, right when we're climaxing, he has his eyes rolled, you know. And he's saying like we needed to take over the earth. And he's like, what was that?
That fucking Laszlo.
He has like his eyes roll where he's like in pure, like he's thinking of it, like he's like in pure ecstasy of like the Baron fucking him, and he's like,
oh,
and then the Baron like stops and he's like, okay, you guys got to take over the planet or the city.
Yeah.
Like, wait, say it again. And he's like, and the Baron does not repeat.
And you know who the Baron is?
No.
Yeah, Doug Jones.
Is it?
Oh my God. Yeah. Cat, you know, this guy is off in the body of people, man. But when he does acting in this, real acting. I have my favorite character, fucking dying laughing, man. Dying laughing.
Yeah,
I got, you know, Ruben into it too.
I like Nando. I like Laszlo.
Yeah,
I like
Nando.
Naja.
Yes, they're all great.
Guillermo
man.
is fucking funny.
Man, his
the
love for
2 episodes that I've seen, He's fucking hilarious.
His love friend, Armand.
yeah, Armand.
I
saw where he dressed.
Dude, so fucking funny. It's such a good show. What
funny.
We Do in the Shadows, guys, on FX. It's in season 4 right now.
It's like 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah,
10 episodes, I think, a season. So I'm gonna blow through that pretty quick.
Oh yeah, when you want to laugh about stuff, man. So I'd love to cover that one with you when you catch up. You'll catch up quick too.
And,
it's so
and
funny.
I'm gonna try. I want to try to before this season ends.
Okay.
So I really want to try to do that. That's gonna be my goal. So then when it does end, we can do what we do in the shadows.
Man, that's a treat for me. I love that. I love hearing that. That's news to me. Right here, breaking news, guys.
The other thing is on Netflix, Jamie Foxx's new movie came out. Where they're vampire hunters for him and Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
So I have not seen that movie yet. I want to see it. I like Jamie Foxx. So
I have seen it. Very good.
Very good.
Very
okay.
good. I like.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like.
No, I'm not expecting.
It's in the vein of vampires.
Okay.
So if you like, it's a fun movie. It's fun. Yeah. I'm not telling you guys it's going to win awards. It's fun. A fun movie. And me and Jess watch it.
That's all I expect. I'm not expecting anything else. I'm not expecting Bram Stoker's here. No. I'm not expecting an interview with the vampire. I just want to see a fun movie.
It was a Sunday afternoon watch. We watched our first thing we watched Sunday was Prey. Then we watched that one, and we were like, hey, we saw 2 good movies. And then we saw, what was the third thing we saw that was kind of like, we just kind of threw it in the mix, and we were like, hey, that was pretty good too. I watched a really terrible vampire movie this past weekend, with David Bowie and Susan Sarandon.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa, this is awful.
When was this? Like
83?
80s?
Oh, yeah, wow. I was like... They looked beautiful, both of them, but I was like, this movie is...
That's like Mad Duke, or what do you call him? White Duke era David Bowie right there.
Yeah,
When he was like full of coke and looked really white. Well, like Lucifer in the
Yeah,
comics.
he looked very Lucifer-ish for sure. I was like, I said, I get the vampire vibe from him, but I was like, this movie stinks. I was like, I was the critic.
You guys watch
it stinks. Oh yeah, I got to the end because I was like, maybe it's gonna pick up, and then it ends, and you're like, that's how it is.
You know, there's a lot of times I'm not even trying to finish a movie. If I just think, if I get bored,
just
or
turn it
I'm
off.
just like, no, I'm stopping this. I'm not gonna watch it.
Sometimes me and Jess, if we're sitting there and we'll say like, okay, we're gonna give it 5 minutes. But sometimes if like 1 or 2 interesting things are happening, we'll keep going. But I'll notice she's getting on her phone. Mm-hmm. I'll notice I'm getting up to go to the bathroom. No, don't stop it.
That's how Christina is.
I'll go to the kitchen, get my snack.
Especially the restroom part. Especially that part. If she doesn't say no, don't stop it. I'm like,
I can tell you right now, Sandman. We were stopping that shit. We were like, no, wait. Okay. I gotta see everything there is to see. So yeah, definitely. I feel like there was other pop culture news that happened.
I got another one. She-Hulk premiered yesterday.
Right. That's right.
I enjoyed it a lot. She was great. I liked her a lot. What's her name?
You know what? Let's look it up.
Okay, I liked her a lot. She had very good charisma. Her personality was awesome. She was very likable. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was cool that we got to see Mark Ruffalo make an appearance, even if it is going to be this one time. It's really cool. That place that Tony built for him, I was like, oh wow, nice. So Tony built him a little place in Mexico. That was
his bar.
Badass.
Yeah. Tatiana Maslany.
There you go. She was great. I didn't think I was going to be a big fan of hers, and I really enjoyed her.
I have a crush on She-Hulk. The She-Hulk version.
Looked great, right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit what people are saying about the CGI. I'm like, that's a babe right there.
It didn't look that bad. I know Jerry said that he kind of was like,
him and Anthony were pretty rough on it, but
I liked it. Yeah,
you know, it's hard to make a humanoid. What are you gonna do? Get a buff chick and paint her green like Lou Ferrigno?
Like Lou Ferrigno, it's not gonna work anymore.
They had to be a good actor too. Like this chick was a good actress.
I liked her. That's what I'm saying. She had like a lot of charisma, a lot of personality.
Yeah,
she was funny. She was witty.
Yeah,
I liked her a lot. It was kind of like, you know how Brie Larson kind of comes across. Like I like Brie Larson, but you know how she comes across like kind of like where she's the badass.
Yes.
You know? Like she has that look that I guess a lot of people don't look like.
Totally.
She does not give off any of those vibes.
No.
Whatsoever.
No.
You know, and I enjoyed it. I can't wait. I'm going to be watching this every Thursday.
Yeah,
so
I'll be watching too. Yeah.
I can't wait.
And I was feeling like kind of up and down about it, but then I was like one episode and, I mean, I'm not gonna say, of course, we already know about DD coming. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
You know, we both definitely want to see fucking Daredevil, but
especially in the yellow,
even on its own, it looked cool. I mean, like I said, this first episode,
I actually forgot about Daredevil, honestly. So that gives me something else to look forward to.
I felt like the humor added levity, and like it was still good.
No, it was
and,
good.
Like, you know,
I enjoyed it. And I think she can do it in this kind of level of medium. I think she can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think she can own a show. So I was really blown away by it. I was surprised.
I'm for it. I'll be watching too.
Yeah.
And I think if we both watch something, you usually get an episode out of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it would have to go really shit sideways for us to not do an episode on it. So, I still feel like there was something else. You know what? I don't know if did we address the Olivia Newton-John thing on air?
Yes, we did.
Okay, we did. Okay, because I felt like we skipped over that, and I do want to say rest in peace to her.
Sure, we did.
You know, okay. I didn't watch Grease, and I don't know from too much other stuff personally, but you know, my mom was kind of taken aback by it, and so I was like, you know, I want to make sure that we address it. I knew we had addressed obviously Anne Heche. Not that I want to focus on the death stuff, but you know, R.I.P. to Olivia Newton-John too, man. Obviously, those films mean a lot to a lot of people and stuff.
Oh yeah,
she's
I love Grease.
Yeah, and the Get Physical song, I'm with it. Damn, Double A, I really feel like there was something else, and I'm going to kick myself if I forget. And I was like, oh, the news I want to tell him to talk about was this, and I can't remember what the hell it was right now. Not comic book stuff, I don't think. Anybody else out there in the Friday Night land have pop culture news that I may have missed that people were talking about? I feel like there was something.
I know Rock got a lot of shit for some statements he made.
Oh, really? The Rock?
Yeah,
What's
like a lot of people are saying that he's trying to make the DCU his own universe, you know, and that Black Adam's not that important like the way he's making it. So he's kind of getting a lot of crap for that.
Well,
I heard HBO Max is starting to pull some of its shows, about 30 shows that they're pulling away from their service. So I guess they're getting ready for that. House of Dragons this Sunday. I cannot wait.
Yes.
It's already
recorded.
That's
this Sunday already.
Yes. So I saw their description. It's set 200 years before Game of Thrones. So it's going to be 200 years. This Sunday, 8 o'clock. This past Sunday was also the debut of Tales of the Walking Dead.
Oh, maybe that was it. I don't know. Go ahead. I watched it. I got to watch it.
Okay. I loved it. I really enjoyed Terry Crews and Olivia Munn.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful. Wonderful chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, big time. And that part scared me at the end. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
When she went all crazy on Terry Crews, I was like,
and there was a part in there, too, that was an actual jump scare that I jumped.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, oh, shit. I was like, you know, I was like, oh, wow. You know, The Walking Dead still got it.
This is something that I've been wanting for a long time. And I hope someone from AMC saw our podcast and heard me, because this is something I've been wanting since Fear the Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to be doing this. I thought they were going to be showing tells throughout the season of how the zombie apocalypse it's devastated everything, because this one kind of showed it went from Ohio to Michigan.
Yes.
And it's just all wasteland up there. We never really get out of Atlanta whatsoever
In the main series.
Yeah, so here it was kind of like, okay, so even in the north it's all fucked up
Although
too.
now I think they're in Virginia.
Yeah, but still, it's like for a long time. It was like
we eventually ventured north. Yeah, totally agree. Loved the episode. Was so glad I got to watch it, even though I missed the initial airing. It gave me a little bit of Creepshow vibes. You know what I mean? You know, obviously Greg Nicotero was working on Creepshow as well, the one that was coming on Shudder.
Yes.
And I guess it's going to come on AMC too now.
I think it's supposed to be.
But Creepshow is great, and it's also fun. It's, you know, very tongue in cheek. But
like always.
Yeah, like always. But this had a little bit of those vibes because there's humor, you know what I mean, and you know the soundtrack is not as heavy, you know what I mean. And I think that they can mix. By the looks of the next episode, it's not going to be too heavy-handed either. But I mean, I'm sure they can mix in some heavy-handed.
You know what I hate though is I'm not too sure if it's going to happen, but they showed something happening in Parker Posey, and I was like, man, why are they showing that footage for? You know,
yeah,
it's like, son of a bitch, you know?
Okay.
Like,
You're
keep
giving
the
away
trailers
too much.
to a fucking minimum.
Yeah, you just got to give people a little bit. A little crumb leads you.
Like, I think that's what pisses out people when it's like, oh, the trailers were much better than the movie. I was like, that's what happens when you show too damn much.
Yeah,
it's like,
totally agree. But yeah, it was good. Tales of the Walking Dead.
So I loved it. I can't wait. It's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So,
gosh dang it, I cannot think of
what it is.
It's still something, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
Trailer?
I don't know if you heard about Ezra Miller. So now he's
gonna get help, right?
Mental help. Mental help.
Yeah.
I was like, so that's what they're going with. That's what this dude sounds like he's. I don't know. They're saying coat. They're using words like coat, farm, living at his mom's house. I'm like, I don't know. Just shelve the whole damn thing. Then don't even show Flash anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think maybe that's what. Maybe they're trying to tell him, like, you need to save this movie. Or maybe they're going to sue his ass, breach a contract or something like that.
Well, he's not really doing any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
He's just being an asshole.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought we might have had it in the group, but maybe not. Maybe it was just about the Wednesday thing.
This weekend, Saturday, it's going to be the Lost Boys celebration at Wonderland of the Americas. The biggest celebration of the Lost Boys in the country so far this year for the 35th anniversary of it.
Yeah.
Jason Patrick's going to be there. Corey Feldman's going to be there. The vampire with the long black hair is going to be here. Mm-hmm. The other Frog brother is going to be here. The lead singer of that song, Cry Little Sister, is going to be there. And they're just going to have a shitload of vendors. Apparently this thing is taking over the Wonderland completely for Saturday and Sunday. So that's going to be a fun show.
It moved to being free to get in, so that's cool.
And
so
that too, yes.
Just check out the vendors.
Yes.
So it's Corey Feldman, who plays Edgar Frog. Jameson Newlander is who plays Alan Frog. Jason Patrick, obviously Michael. Billy Worth, who's Dwayne. That's the vampire with like the long black hair. How does he die? Death by stereo.
Yes.
And then G. Tom Mack is the singer-songwriter of Cry Little Sister. Cry Little Sister.
My wife loves that version, and she loves the Marilyn Manson version.
Love that too. Both good versions. I love the Lost Boys.
That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, you might see cosplayers up the ass like David and Michael.
I should cosplay.
You should. It's going to be the perfect time. I mean, it's taking over that Wonderland Mall. So that should be a lot of fun this weekend.
I will say this. I don't know if I should say.
Uh-oh.
Well, just that if you watch The Day Shift, the Jamie Foxx movie with Snoop, whatever, there is a cool tribute to the Lost Boys.
Okay.
A cool homage.
Cool.
You got to stay till the very end, but it's very, very neat. And I was like, oh shit, like that's rad. You know what I mean? So
it makes me want to see it even more.
Yeah, I love vampire movies, and so again, I think when we did our vampire episode, I think Lost Boys was my number one. I think. Didn't I say that in vampire movies? Okay. I think that's what I went with. Yeah.
Hey, Allie in the house. What's up, Allie?
Hello, new mommy. Welcome to the show.
Allie, you kill me on this comment. I don't know anything about Predator or Prey, but I'm here supporting you.
There you go. Well, we appreciate that. There's nothing.
Rich, what's going on?
Yeah, Rich, Predator. There. Nothing better to put Baby Zach to sleep to than
Allie,
you saw
the Expendables with me at the theater. Come on, Allie.
You will really like this new one, Allie, Prey, that's on Hulu
right I think Prey, probably out of all the 5 movies, you probably will like Prey the most.
Yeah. I did write notes today and forgot them, so that happens. And I was like, I know, but But and I cannot remember what it was that I was like, oh, we really got to talk about that news. I think maybe it was the Wednesday news, and I just can't. It doesn't feel like that was it. I don't know. And I thought maybe it was like comic related or like a death or something comic wise, but it totally escapes me. So just
Ali says, "Oh, I sure did." Okay, just kidding. Love the Expendables. I can't remember which one we saw. I think we saw the Van Damme one.
The second one? That's the second one, right?
We saw
the second one.
Ali, do you remember we saw the one with Stone Cold, or did we see the one with Van Damme?
And who else? There's other wrestlers in that one, right?
No, it's Stone Cold and Randy Couture
in the first
UFC. One. Yeah, because Stone Cold doesn't make it out of the first one.
Right. Yeah, no, he doesn't.
With Eric Roberts, and then Van Damme,
he's like the second.
Then Van
boss, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he kicks Stallone's ass in that one.
Yeah.
It's Randy Couture who beats up Austin on that one.
Nice. Shoot. Well, I don't know. Whatever it was.
Well, real quick. We saw the first one. All right, cool. We saw the first one. Okay. They on Showtime they have been showing the Last Boy Scout again, and I think I've said this too. Like that's probably honestly my favorite Bruce Willis movie. Mm-hmm. That movie is fucking funny, and it is. I forgot that it is written by Mr.
Shane Black. Yeah, I was wondering if you knew that. Yeah.
So it kind of leads us, I guess, if you're ready.
I'm ready. That's a good segue.
To what the man did.
So if you read the title, then you know that it's true. We learned it in this most recent installment, but we first learned it way back in 1987 when Arnold said it, and that is, if it bleeds, we can kill it. We're talking about the Predator franchise.
5 movies on its own.
7 if you count the AVP movies.
The shared universe movies,
right, which are considered non-canon by both franchises, I believe.
Sure.
So although in part 2 Predator is a direct tie, which I love that there's that direct reference right there. But we want to hear from you, the Friday Nighters and the Friday Night Faithful. Did you watch the new movie Prey, and are you a fan of the Predator franchise? If so, which one is your favorite? Which ones do you love? Which ones do you hate? And why? Let us know, because we're going to tell you what we think about them. So let's start Double A. The first movie comes out in 1987, right?
Yeah.
At that time, I'm 6. Arnold Schwarzenegger, though, probably the biggest action star of the 1980s.
Yes. Which is,
arguably the 90s, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. Yes. The 90s for sure, yeah.
What is your memories of your first exposure to that movie, Predator?
My brother's just watching it over and over.
VHS?
Laughing. Yes, them laughing at it. Yeah. And it's even like the hard plastic, the one that pops open. It's not even the cardboard. It was like the hard plastic.
Okay.
And I just always loving the cover.
Yeah.
That cover is great, where it's kind of like him, and then it's kind of like
a target's kind of
something.
Like
yeah.
That.
It's just I was like, man, I just love those covers that grab you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Arnold. I mean, come on, man, Arnold there. It's like fucking A. You got Arnold against this alien.
Yeah.
This alien hunter.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's fucking awesome. In the jungles of South America or Mexico, wherever it's supposed to be. I think Central America.
Yeah, Central America. Yeah.
Man, awesome.
Although I read something, because I was reading the IMDb trivia, and it was saying that it's kind of left ambiguous of where it is in the it's.
Well, I'm only guessing because they speak Spanish,
right? Yes. Yeah, but because they were saying something about how where you kind of see, I guess, a little bit at the beginning when you see the ship shooting off, whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is pretty iconic in itself.
It is. That's the part that always got me too. Like when I actually did a rewatch, like when I focused on that one, right? And I'm talking about years and years ago, like in the 2000s when I was kind of rewatching every kind of movie.
Yeah.
I barely saw Full Metal Jacket all the way
in
2000, 2001 because my brothers would always stop it right after Pyle committed suicide.
Yeah.
It was the movie got boring to them. So they would always stop it right there.
No way.
Because they loved laughing at it. It was my brothers and my cousin Phil. They would just laugh at everything that was going on in that first half, and in the second half they would always turn it off. They're like, okay, boom. So I was surprised when the movie went longer. when I did a rewatch, I was like, hey, there's more to this Full Metal Jacket.
The rest of Joker's story there and Nam,
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So, seeing Predator, I'm sorry. Seeing Predator, I was like, oh man, that was cool. The music that the beginning when they show the helicopters coming, I was like, oh shit, I was like, man, this feels awesome. And then you see all these fucking men come out, and just out of the helicopter, you're like, oh shit,
And as a wrestling fan, how'd you see about seeing Ventura there?
Ventura, the body,
very cool.
The man himself. Cool. I was like, golly, that movie is easily one of the best wrestler movies I've ever.
Oh yeah.
Of a wrestler coming out way better than anything Hulk Hogan did at that time.
Or anytime after.
After. And that one and the Running Man just blows everything what Hulkamania was doing at that time.
For me, I can remember watching this on VHS. I can remember that my dad had gone to Korea in the Marines in 1988. And when he came back, he had a bunch of these bootleg VHS, whatever. They were they'd been recorded or whatever. He brought me Masters of the Universe. I think he had brought Die Hard, and then he brought
all the
one.
movies kind of that were out that were
new.
Right,
and so we were watching them on these I guess tapes he bought at probably some street vendor or something like that or whatever. But I was you had a VCR at home, you watched the same things over and over and over again. That movie was on heavy rotation. Three Amigos was on heavy rotation. There was just certain things, and I remember just thinking I feel like this movie is the result of like me and your older brothers like playing like, army, playing war so many times with those thoughts in our head. And it's weird for me to think about that, right? Because, he was gone for all of 88. So I guess he gets back like, towards the end. Maybe he left like, I'm not sure exactly when he left. Maybe it was 87, going into 88 or whatever. But it was mainly 88 he was gone. But I was like, I would have been in 89, 8. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, it seems kind of like, would I have been into that then? But then it's true because my nephew just watched it last year, the first one or whatever. And it was like, and it's intense. It's got some intense parts. You know what I mean?
Sure, man.
As I rewatched it, in preparation for this episode, I was thinking, I was like, man, it's so funny because the Now Watch This guys just put up in their group, the Watchers, the Now Watch This Watchers, what movies are not horror but could be horror. And this immediately came to mind because you don't see the creature for a long time.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
8 minutes of screen time. Was that right?
Holy shit, really?
Yep. That's what I read.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
Man, it's like one of those that, you hear about Silence of the Lambs, you hear about Phantom Menace, of Darth Maul only appearing so much. It's kind of like, damn. Yeah. You just don't fucking realize it.
Yeah. But it's impactful and impactful.
Very impactful.
And it made it done so well. Because, again, this movie has everything I say that, rewatchable,
it's
highly quotable.
It's maybe a top 3 Arnold movie, honestly. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the Terminator movies.
And Conan.
I would even say it's better than Conan because he gets more range out of Arnold.
And this is kind of how you imagine him, right? You always think of Arnold like looking big and
cool
with
too,
guns.
You know what's cool too is that they kind of got that. I don't know. This might be a little too old for a lot of people, but you remember Contra?
Yes.
So
Contra,
supposedly
Nintendo.
the look is Arnold's look from Predator and Stallone's look from First Blood.
From First Blood, yeah.
So, and there's like this cool thing that somebody made, like where it's actually those poses that you see that they come together.
And in that game, when you fight the main boss, the alien, it looks kind of like the alien from Alien. So it's like, I think they, in that same cover you're talking about, they kind of morph in the boss as like the alien, the xenomorph.
Yeah.
Which you're like, oh, that would have been the ultimate movie of the 80s. You know what I mean? Arnold and Stallone versus the alien. You know what I mean?
Golly, if they had just put their egos aside and just did a movie in their prime instead of doing it like with the Expendables, man, oh man, golly.
Yeah. That
probably would have been the greatest thing ever.
And
the tone of Predator for the first one is so great because you get so hopped up.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, like fuck yeah, these are like the best of the best,
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a mystery if you kind of pay attention. It's kind of like, there's a team that went in there and radio contact got lost. We need you and your team to find these guys. Something we don't know what happened. And he even says like the commander of that group is like a really great leader. It's like, it's weird that, he couldn't just go in and out.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, it's Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers is amazing in this movie too. So they go out. It's a search mission. It's a rescue mission kind of, right? Mm-hmm. Going into the borders of this jungle, of enemy territory. No backup. In and out quietly. Try to go in and out before anybody even notices. And then it becomes like a really big suspense kind of like mystery, suspense thriller. They start finding bodies that are skinned. It's ugly. It's like it's the commandos, the guys they're supposed to be looking for, and it's like, man, there's no way these rebels could have done this. That's not like their MO. They don't skin people. They don't do that kind of. That's pretty savage.
Definitely. And it's starting to catch a horror movie vibe.
It starts. That's what I'm saying. It goes from like where it feels action right in the beginning to where it becomes like a mystery to suspense thriller to almost like horror because now you're like, what the fuck's going on?
And it's interesting, right? Because Roxanne commented on my comment and said, well, that is a horror movie. And it's
I was
almost like saying like
I was like, I know you're probably fuming.
I was like, well, if I didn't find it in the horror section of Blockbuster.
What I've noticed is that you two like poking each other.
Yeah, but again, like I said, when your boss at Blockbuster is like, no, that goes in the action section. I have a little the same thing with Alien. You know what I mean? Alien very much is a horror movie, but it's sci-fi.
But I've had this argument too with The Thing. I'm like, where the hell do you put the Thing? Is it sci-fi or is it horror? It's kind of weird because it's both. It's
where would you find it in the old days?
Probably sci-fi. They would just probably be lazy and put it sci-fi. But when you actually look at the movie, it's very horror. It's very much horror.
Pretty grotesque.
Movie. And that too, but it's just because it's an alien. I feel like that's why people put it in sci-fi.
So anything with an alien automatically,
I think
so,
it's
right? Tough, right? You know what I mean? Like if it's not like a monster, you know what I mean? So,
but I mean, it does a really good job. John McIntyre, I forgot. It's a big name director. Which I think he went. I think he's the director of Die Hard. He really does the pacing really, really well. And like I said, you start feeling dread, right, Sam? Mm-hmm. You really start feeling dread. Like, even with Arnold being in the movie, you're like, man, this doesn't really feel right for Arnold, right? Like, you're like...
John McTiernan.
There you go.
Tiernan. It's a
great action director.
Yeah.
You start feeling like, can Arnold actually pull this off?
Right. And I read this. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I read this great article today, and it was I guess because people have been talking about Prey so much, and the article was basically saying like 10 movies that people get wrong. They're like, and it's kind of what we were talking about with the comics, right? Where it's like we're like you're not paying attention or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the guy was saying, he says, yes, you're seeing these good-looking, big, buff guys, machismo men. He goes, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
He goes, even though it's Arnold, exactly what you're saying is like. He didn't beat the Predator with brawn. Yeah. He had to use brains. Yeah. And he says that's very much the themes that come back in Prey. Because people were saying like, oh man, you can't have this little chick like being against the Predator. And I was like, the Predator was never beaten with brawn. He was only ever beaten with brains. Yeah. That is the theme of the movies, And I was like, that's very interesting that this guy did that. He listed out some other movies. I'll try to find the article and post it in the Friday.
Cool. I want to read that one if you can.
But but it was I thought that was interesting points. I said, oh, those are valid
It's very
points.
Interesting because his punches have no effect on him, and we'll get to that a little bit more. But slowly, so they get the rebels and they wipe them out easy, and now there's like, what the hell is really going on here? And you find out Carl Weathers is kind of shady, what his dealings are down there. But
man, he has some Grief Cargo vibes from Mandalorian.
Yeah, no kidding.
The early precursor to Grief.
Yeah, no kidding. But then it's like, slowly, little by little, the team starts getting hunted. They start becoming the prey, and the Predator starts picking them off one by one, and you kind of see glimpses of what the Predator kind of does.
Yeah.
He's camouflage.
Yes.
He has weaponry all over, infrared vision. He can hear, like, kind of mimic the voices, big. Like, the first time, seeing him, you really don't see him, but the first kind of image you see him is when he has a scorpion. When he grabs a scorpion, you see the hand, and you're like,
it's huge.
Whoa, what the fuck?
And it looks like a monster hand.
Yeah,
like the nails,
and it's
claws.
like the first time that you're seeing what this bastard kind of looks like, somewhat, because you don't see him. You still don't know what he looks like at this point. So you just got a glimpse of the hand, and so he's like learning them, he's stalking them, he's hunting them, And sure enough, he starts killing these badass commandos one by one.
Yeah, I like with the scene when you see him kind of in the invisibility mode and his eyes just flash like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And even that, right? The sounds. It sounds.
Yes, love the sounds. Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? That's like fucking freaking you out or whatever, And again, you're right. It still feels to me like action flickish because it's like it's Arnold and it's like commandos with guns. You know what I mean? It's like okay, but obviously it's like they're up against something that is different than that. This came out in 87. What year did Aliens come out? Do you know?
Oh, Aliens is like 79. Or Alien. Aliens came out in 86.
So right before.
Yes.
Because I think they were saying that that one of the pitches was like, this is like aliens in the jungle. Because they had like the idea of the Space Marines against an alien.
Well, so even the thing is kind of guilty of that. In some of the taglines, it says the ultimate in alien horror. Where they were trying to bank on Alien too.
Alien, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So, I mean, Alien, both of them, hugely successful movies. Why not try to cheat on that,
And then to actually pull it off, because some people might be like, oh, it's easily like a knockoff.
Pull it off, and then you get Arnold.
Right.
So that helps.
And Carl Weathers, I think, had good heat still from
Rocky
movies.
And then Action Jackson.
Yeah, and Action Jackson.
No, actually 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So, and he looked great. You know what I mean? They all look great. They were saying Arnold lost 25 pounds. They said
yes, he wanted to get leaner to prepare more for the role.
And they filmed in Mexico. They said, and they said
they all got sick.
The all cast all got sick except Arnold and the director because they weren't drinking the water, I guess. And then they said that at the same time he was planning his wedding to Maria Shriver at the time, and that she was pissed off because he was kind of more focused on the movie.
I read too that Ventura did really well. He's probably the one that did the most, obviously, with his military training that he already had. He had something that was called a precursor to Navy SEALs. He's not a Navy SEAL, but it was something before.
He was a frogman.
Yes,
they called it a frogman.
Yes. So he was kind of like already more or less into that. He said he felt kind of. He actually said he got kind of PTSD back. Where he jumped out of bed a few times, and that was like the first time his wife had ever saw anything like that with him. So
and they said like, oh, the guy that played Pancho, they said was actually in Vietnam.
Oh, him too.
Yeah, he was in Vietnam, and they said that he too. So immediately when he got in the jungle, said he was like, "Oh, this shit is like deja vu." You know, like that's kind of an ugly deja vu.
I even read too. Even Arnold served, but for his country.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
I didn't know
him
that.
too. I read that too on the trivia. Yeah.
Huh. Pretty cool.
Well, I didn't know he had any kind of military background.
Neither did I.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. All this stuff, guys. I don't know. IMDb.
Yes.
IMDb. Go to the trivia section. It's so much fun to read, and the one for Predator is huge. I couldn't even get through all of it. There was so much in there.
It's so fucking long.
But so much cool. So that's where we're getting some of this stuff. Of course, the funny story about the arms, right? You know.
Joe actually sent me the video of that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Where he's playing a trick on Ventura. Ventura's like. They told Ventura that he actually his arms were 1 inch bigger than Arnold's. And,
the wardrobe people.
Yeah, and you know Ventura's like so super happy, but apparently Arnold had told him to make it sound like he had bigger arms. So then when he did it again, they voted like on a bottle of champagne, like I guess a really big like champagne bottle, and they measured again, and Ventura was so cocky, he was like, yeah, it turned out Arnold's arms were 3 inches bigger than Ventura's. I was like, golly. So, man, just great stuff. And obviously, I mean, he kept Ventura, came out like in two of his movies, or maybe more, like Predator
Running
and
Man
Running Man
for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if anything else.
And I mean, they're probably obviously good buddies. I think they're both Republicans and shit like that.
And they both became governors.
Ventura.
And they also said the guy that played Billy ran for governor.
Really?
Yeah, I read that too.
Wow.
That he ran for governor. And remember, he just passed 1 or 2 years ago.
Yes, he did. Yes. Great in 48 Hours. He's a great character in that one.
One of the things that was interesting I read about him was that they had a bodyguard on set with him, but to protect other people because he apparently
had a short temper.
Yeah, violent.
And he was very violent. Yeah.
You know what's cool about this movie, Double A, that I was thinking about as I watched it is that like it was kind of doing the diversity thing before it was a thing, because you have Pancho, who was a Mexican, Arnold, you had Billy, who was you thought Native American. Obviously Carl Weathers and Mac are black. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh wow, it was kind of already doing that. You know what I mean? Like it brought that in. A lot of times they don't allude to Arnold being foreign, but clearly he sounds foreign.
But it's so great, right? Because I was thinking about that too today, on the route that I was on. I was like, it's so great. Like Arnold's like this huge action hero, and it's like we don't even care that he's like not American. It's just he has so much charisma.
Yeah,
like, his charisma is it's so much, and everybody just loves the accent. He's got so many imitators that try doing his. Every line that
how quotable is this movie, Double A? Every fucking line is quotable. I forgot how goddamn popular the damn Ventura line is. I ain't got time to bleed. And then like Pancho's reaction is like, oh no, you got time to duck? Because he's kind of like really big man. Like what the fuck? Like this is your boys, right? Your squad.
Like one of the lines too that what we always kind of like in our circle is like when Ventura kind of, I'm not gonna say like the word, but like. He's trying to pass around some tobacco, some chewing tobacco.
Oh, right.
And, all of them are like, no. Yeah. And he's like, get that stingy shit out of my face. And he's like, what's wrong with all of you? This will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me. And then, the other one's like, strap this to your sore ass, Blaine.
Yeah.
And you hear Billy just...
It's so fucking like... fun. It's
but
just
how many
such a
times
fun
have we
movie.
said
Oh,
that right
man,
to each
all
other?
the
Right?
time, man.
Start this to your
like,
sore ass.
And the rest of that line that we we shall not say here.
Yes, well, we will not say here.
But I mean, definitely there's a lot of
the Little
machismo,
Richard
a lot
song,
of,
right?
Oh yeah, man,
that
Long
was-
Tall Sally.
I was like, golly, like I love that song just because of that movie.
I know for a fact the first time I heard that song was in this movie
same
because
here.
I was probably
like,
8 or 9.
that song because it fits so perfect in that part.
That's great. You know what I mean? It's great for that being in the chopper, coming in, all that stuff.
And then the other line too, when Arnold throws a knife at that dude, he tells him, stick around. Yeah.
Which they said he improvised, just when Mac and Dylan first meet, the classic, arm embrace, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
That's what I'm saying. It's so great because there's so much testosterone.
Machismo.
Yeah, the machismo, man.
But let's talk a little bit about the Predator himself,
Yes.
Double A. So initially was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Man, oh man, that would have been so fucking cool. That was, and it would. I wonder how the fighting scenes would have been.
Yeah, and they said that they wanted him to hop around like a frog, and he didn't get it, and that
he didn't get it.
They also said the creature looked different. They said,
yeah, I mean, he was. It was too hot for him.
Mm-hmm.
He just. It's like you said. He couldn't get it. He couldn't. I've heard that before. It's not just him. I've even heard Tom Hardy was a pain in the ass for Mad Max. He could not get what George Miller, right? That's the director, right, for the Mad Max movie.
Yeah, I think so.
He could not. He couldn't see what George Miller was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just like, I'm just driving this rig, and you want me to do all these kind of like facial. And he's like, I need to see what I'm doing. And he kept trying to tell him like, just do it. You'll see when it happens. Yeah. And apparently, I mean, he was just such a big pain in the ass, but. Apparently, after Tom Hardy saw the movie and everything, he apologized to him. He was like, I'm sorry for the way I acted. I just couldn't see what you were telling me. I'm like, he's directing you. Yeah,
that's what a director does. Some studio gave this guy
and Tom
control
Hardy's
over a multi-million-dollar movie.
Say what you want about Van Damme. I mean, Tom Hardy's one of the best actors, out there of this generation, maybe ever. And he couldn't get, he couldn't even see it either. And so I'm sure Van Damme, was like, you want me to do what? Like, how, where, and then he said it was really hot, which all of them said it was hot. And I'm sure being in that damn costume was hot too. I think I read it was like a heavy suit.
200 pounds is what I read. Can you imagine
200 pounds that the 7-foot
suit?
actor that was in the Predator had to wear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts.
What's his name, Double A? Do we know his name?
I forget his name. I always forget his fucking name.
I want to give that guy credit
because
he deserves it.
But man, how cool would that have been, right? See him, just another little Easter egg that would have been if Van Damme had stuck with it, to have, say he could have been the Predator, right? To say, I was Predator in the original and I fought Arnold.
Kevin Peter Hall.
Okay.
And did you know the Easter egg about him? Remember the helicopter, the helicopter pilot at the end? That's him.
That's him.
That's him. So you get to see his face if you want to know what the Predator actor looked like. But the guy was 7'2", and they liked that because it looked better.
Which was better.
And Arnold brought in Stan Winston, famous, I think, American Werewolf, right?
Terminator.
Yeah.
The Terminator movies.
He brought him in because he said to
yeah.
redesign the alien, and that's when they went with this, like, okay, we're gonna this big guy that did the head the way it looked and the fucking fangs. And
the
they actually
mandibles.
said, James Cameron, they said had some input. He was like, I was wanting to see an alien with like mandibles or whatever. And how great is the Predator looking? That scene is so iconic at the
helmet.
End. Oh yeah.
Man, the helmet, the look.
Yeah. We got some stuff right here for our visual watchers. I borrowed these from my nephew, and so like one of the when he got into the Predator when the character came out in the Fortnite game. And the way that game does stuff, Double A, is pretty interesting, right? Because it introduced it, and like you're running around on the same map, right? But they'll make little changes to the map. So one of the things that appeared was like this jungle area appeared, right? And in the jungle area, you'd run around and you could find the downed helicopter.
Nice.
So once you found that, you know what I mean? Then it was like after a while, like after running around for a couple weeks, then the Predator appeared. You'd have to fight him. And then eventually, you got to be the skin of the Predator. And my nephew got so interested. He was like, do you have those movies? And I was like, you know what? I don't. And I was like disappointed with myself. There's still stuff in my collection that he's asking about. I'm disappointed I don't have.
I still only have part 1.
Hey, because of him, I bought this 4-movie collection that was at Walmart. I think like maybe 40. You remember what the price was?
Well, when I saw it recently, it was 14 something. So.
Oh, okay, maybe it went down. So maybe that's true. But it's got Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and the Predator. And we watched all 4 of these. He and I. He also wanted to see the Alien versus Predator movie, so I bought those. Because of him, I also bought all the Alien movies because he was curious. We're still trying to get through Prometheus because he wants to watch them in order, which is a rough watch for a kid.
Yes, it is. That was a rough watch for me.
Although, as many times as I've been rewatching it with him, like we're getting through the parts, I'm like, this is a really damn good movie.
It is. It's just I think I wanted more of the space jockey thing. More. So.
Yeah. Here's one of his little Funkos, the 8-bit Funko of the Predator. For those of you watching us on Spotify, on the video version
very
or
cool.
the YouTube.
The weapons, the camouflage, his little rocket shit.
Yeah, great looking.
Like I say, he gets rid of them one by one until it's only him and Arnold. Arnold kind of notices that he's only hunting the ones with the weapons,
right?
That he thinks are lethal. So it's pretty cool. It's him and Arnold. They have this really cool chase. Yeah. That's where Arnold finds out about the mud.
Yes, he finds out he's seized by heat.
Yeah,
in one form. You know what I mean? Yes. Because this movie, the first part only shows us he can only see that way, but
the heat.
But we later learn, that there are other ways. Mm-hmm. Obviously, their tech is pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Double A, what do you feel about the Predator as a hunter, though? He has a lot of advantages. Although
the camouflage is the one that always gets me.
You're practically invisible, you know what I mean? But I thought about it, right? And I said, you know what? Our hunters that go out and hunt, even the ones that hunt bear, like a really dangerous game, they're still out there with fucking high-powered rifles. They're up in a blind. They're using, scent stuff. I'm like, essentially, we're doing that, too. Man does that to animals. But even guys that hunt, big game, like rhinos and shit, I'm like, come on now. I know you ain't in there one-on-one with that. I will give credit to guys that bow hunt. They're at least you're trying to level the playing field.
I think I would feel better if he used the camouflage to just kind of stalk to see how these guys moved, how they operated, and then I wouldn't mind if he, full on revealed himself afterwards. Okay, I kind of know I know how this works. I know how that weapon works. Something like that.
But stealth is definitely one of the main aspects of it. But yes, there's that, their great fight, you know what I mean? The famous, come on, do it. I'm here, kill me. It's like all of that is so iconic. That shit is burned in my brain. I told Double A in prep for this, I was going to watch them all, right? Because I would watch Prey last weekend. And when I got time, I watched 1 and I watched 2, which I was like, I didn't really need to watch because I fucking remember them like nothing. I should have watched some of the other ones, which I have a little bit more foggy memory about. Because you just don't watch them as much, you know what I mean? And I know we did a rewatch of these 4 with my nephew when he got back into it. When he got into it, not back into it, but into it, we watched all of these, and we watched the Alien vs. Predator first one. He didn't watch the Requiem. He didn't get into it at the beginning, and so we just didn't do that one or whatever. And like I said, we're still trying to get to Prometheus. So, but in that time too, I had got him a few books. I don't know what these are about. I haven't read them, but this one came from Heroes and Fantasy. But it's just got a cool cover of the Predator on there. So again, if you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify, you want to see some of the visuals here. We're showing that one. Of course, Double A has this super cool shit hanging in the background.
Those are it's my brother's collections. They have bought Predator versus Batman, and then my older brother got the Superman versus Predator.
How are they? Have you read them?
The Batman versus Predator. Spoiler alert: he loses both times. And that's to a depowered Superman. So, yeah, go figure on that one. So,
well, Superman beating the Predator isn't a stretch. That's what you would think.
No, he's has no powers whatsoever.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that's what kind of I'll get to that later, how I feel about the Predator. So,
yeah.
Obviously, I guess you can't have Predator being Superman. It's kind of like one of those wrestling things, right? It's kind of like 1997. You can't have Rey Mysterio beating Hulk Hogan, right?
Right, right. But I also don't like the whole depowering aspect or whatever. It's if you're going to do it, just do it straight up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Obviously, they show Predators have some strength, but not all of Superman's strength.
Right.
I mean, it'd be, again, right? Superman would just fly and punch his head off. I mean, it would just, I mean,
if he's a violent, brutal
killer.
But
it's don't put him, the natural enemy would have been Green Lantern, right? To go up against Green Lantern, right? That would have been more of a natural
alien,
a space cop against an alien hunter, right? That would have been the more natural story. But
And Green Lantern's not bulletproof, right? Double A.
No,
he has to form a shield
yes.
to be a bulletproof.
Yeah, so it would kind of be cool. It would be cool. That fight would have been really cool.
Yeah,
to
he'd
see
be like,
Hal
"Oh,
Jordan.
I've got to match this creature's tech." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would have been really cool to see, like maybe him doing a Predator suit, like right. That would be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
right?
that's actually
right.
That's actually solid writing right there, Joel. I want to see that now.
That's what I'm saying. Like the more natural story instead of putting your big two with like him and Green Lantern. You know?
Yeah.
Like, especially if they put Kyle, not Hal, Kyle. Because Kyle is the more imaginative Lantern. That would have been a badass fight.
I think even Jon Stewart would have been good.
John's good, but Kyle is the one with the big imagination. Kyle is the one that he's pretty much is the Green Lantern.
So Double A, you wanna move on from part one?
Yeah. So
do you want to rank it? Give it your ranking, or you want to give our rankings at the end?
We'll give it at the end. Okay. But obviously Arnold wins, and man, it's just a really great movie. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite performances from Arnold.
So another cool character we didn't talk about, Double A, but the only female in this movie is Anna.
Anna, yeah.
And let me look up the actress's name. I had all this in my notes earlier.
What did you think of her?
She was wonderful. Like, she figured it out.
Right away.
There's so much stuff. She tells that story, right?
Yes.
Elpidia Carrillo. Whew, that was a lot. That was a lot. I'm
glad you did it.
That's the most Spanish you're going to get out.
I'm glad you did it.
Elpidia Carrillo plays Anna. She's so good. She starts out not acting like she doesn't speak English. She gets away a couple of times because she's just trying to preserve herself to survive. And then when there's that really heavy moment, right, where she tells him, she's like, the elders in my village will tell the story of the devil that hunts men. You know what I mean? And you're like getting like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? She does great. So her and Arnold are the only ones that survive. You know what I mean?
Because she's not lethal.
Not
in
lethal.
the Predator's eyes. Yeah. There's that great scene where he kicks a gun out of her hand.
Yes.
Where he's like, no, and then he starts shooting.
Yeah, because he's already like...
Because he already figured it out. It's if you're dangerous, and that Predator will go after you. Which becomes like a big piece of Predator lore.
Yeah. Real quick, Double A, I wanted to mention something that I didn't notice this until I was watching at the end of the day. At the end when they kind of show the characters, their names and their,
yeah.
You see Shane Black reading Sergeant Rock from DC.
Yes.
He's reading comics. They said the reason was that because there were Sergeant Rock comic books laying around because Arnold was going to do a Sergeant Rock project.
Damn.
And that's why they used it, because it was like right there. He just grabbed it or whatever.
Wow.
But they said what Shane Black did in his spare time while he was on set was writing The Last Boy Scout.
Yes.
So it's pretty damn cool.
Which Shane Black, this is probably the only acting role I know of him, but he did write Lethal Weapon. I think at least the first one for sure. I know he wrote the first Lethal Weapon. He wrote Last Boy Scout, and he was like a really shit hot screenwriter. Like I read they had paid him like 1.5 mil for Last Boy Scout, which was huge. It was like a huge number to pay for a screenplay, and they were hoping that it was going to be big because they had got Bruce Willis attached to it, but Last Boy Scout kind of underperformed, so I think that kind of killed Shane Black a little bit.
Yeah,
like he was. I mean, Lethal Weapon was like huge. It was a huge, big hit.
Yeah, definitely. When Lethal Weapon did all the stuff it was doing. Sorry, guys, I was just making sure to get our movie ducks in a row here because again, I did have all this in notes, but once again, if you've ever watched the show, you know that I fucking write notes and then forget the notes. So let's move now. Double A, Predator 2, 1990. Takes a couple of years.
3 years later,
Arnold
different setting.
Doesn't come back.
No,
because of $250,000 apparently.
Which is crazy, right? I'm like, the only reason Predator was successful is probably because of him. That's like, come on.
And I guess that was a lot more money back then, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're talking about like the biggest action star.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would think that you'd want, and then you don't even.
You had Terminator, that was a hit. Conan, that was a hit. Commando, that was a hit. That one was a hit. It's like, come on, this dude is like cranking out hit movies for you.
Yeah, they didn't replace him with the next biggest actor in the world. They replaced him with a pretty unconventional.
It's the complete opposite.
You know how you always wanted that Riggs solo movie from Lethal Weapon. Well, what about the Murtaugh solo movie?
It's
almost like you wanted.
It's almost like Murtaugh before Riggs.
And I remember thinking, still young. I remember thinking Double A. Like I was like Danny Glover. I was like, He's cool, really but he's not like the main guy. Like I thought to myself, this guy stands no chance against a Predator.
See, you're thinking that, and you're thinking action movie again, kind of, and you're like, man, Danny Glover is not this dude. You know, we spent like 3 years ago. He kept saying, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yes,
and, you got that in your head now,
and I'm looking at him like, clearly you are. Yeah,
well, he does look good in this
wonderful.
movie,
Yeah.
You know?
He's not doing a lot of quick moving, but there's definitely some parts where I'm like, okay, you have to put in some work on that right there.
Oh, yeah, almost that whole beginning scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then towards the end, too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that whole scene where he's running and running like crazy.
So when I rewatched it with my nephew, I realized that I was like, oh, I really do enjoy this one. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, it still holds up, whatever, you know. There's the really cool ending. There was things I couldn't wait for.
So
you know
I liked it more than I remember when I saw it again. But the thing is, I don't know. I think the other story, it's kind of what throws me off on this one. The Jamaican story
versus the
just them. Yeah, it's just that whole drug thing. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it kind of takes away from the movie. I think for me, I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know if it's not focusing enough on the Predator.
Okay.
That it's not. It doesn't feel like until like the second half that it's like, okay, finally we're back on the Predator. Like everyone knows what's going on now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, we can focus on that.
Okay.
That's the only thing about this movie.
No. I get it.
Probably, though, out of the 5 movies, probably my favorite ending, though.
Yeah, pretty badass ending.
That ending always stuck with me for
when
whatever reason.
When do you start that ending sequence?
When he's walking to the ship.
Okay, when he falls into the hole.
Yes.
And then, yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't know just how they actually made the ship look really cool, really alien. Yeah. The skulls.
Is this the only time we see inside the ship?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh gosh, that skull scene was so.
Yeah.
So I mean, very famous. I mean, we're not bearing the lead here. Either you've seen these or you haven't, or whatever. But spoiler alert: if you have not seen Predator 2 from 1990, there's a really cool scene at the end that spawned
it's
a
the
bunch
whole
of
debate.
comics,
Yeah.
the whole debate,
everything.
because he's seeing the trophy case and he's seeing
all these skulls,
the skulls of
from a lot of universes.
But then he's seeing,
galaxies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, there's that really cool first skull. He sees all the teeth, right?
Yeah.
It looked almost like a T-Rex or something.
Yes.
But
yes.
But then you see this skull that's very elongated. Elongated. We know what that is if you're a fan of
it's like people right away jumped
movies.
on it. Alien.
It's one of the
like, holy shit,
skulls.
this guy,
this
Predator actually fucking hunted and killed an alien.
Pretty badass. So you're like, people are like, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's the 2 most badass aliens from the 80s. You know, the 2 most dangerous kind of aliens, you know, and it's like, whoa, there was actually something there. You know, I was like, this universe is connected. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
you know?
and that made it like you super geek, because that's maybe one of the earliest crossover things I could remember.
And that's probably the greatest contribution of this movie, I would say.
Yeah,
is that.
And I could tell you this: I hadn't seen the Alien movies or Aliens at that time that I saw these.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't watch those really until much later in my life.
Okay.
For no in particular reason. I mean, I knew of the characters. Hell, AA. I might say, shit, I don't know, this might lose me some cred, but I might have seen Alien versus Predator before I saw like Alien and Aliens.
Well, you wouldn't be surprising Joe or anybody, so.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, there you go. You got to, maintain consistency. That's key here.
Yeah,
but I want to double back real quick, only because.
Great cast too. This one.
Yeah. Am I correct? But is Bill Paxton the only guy to die from a Predator and an alien?
So trivia. He's the only guy that got killed by a Predator, an alien, and a Terminator.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Only actor that has that distinction.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton, man. One of the fucking best.
Oh man, he's always good at whatever role they would give him.
If I could have that man's career, I would live that'd be a happy life.
You know, I had posted something about that movie Near Dark. Because I wanted to see it after Tarantino had gone on and on about it, and I gotta say, his performance was probably the best in that movie.
He's great in this too. Predator 2. He's
funny
great.
In this movie,
He's
and
super great.
You know, you actually feel bad when he does get killed
because he's not the scumbag.
Yeah, he starts off as a scumbag, but then you start trusting him, where he starts becoming one of Danny Glover's trusted guys.
Yes,
you know, and then when it happens, when he goes after a Predator himself, I guess to buy time. You know, for the others to escape, and he dies. It's kind of like, damn. That's
even when he's dealing with the shit reporter too, he's great, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Have you seen Frailty? Oh my god,
love that movie.
Like like Bill Paxton deserved Frailty so much, and you know what? I'm gonna watch that this Halloween
That's a
season,
great
man.
movie.
I fucking love that movie.
That's a great movie.
A great movie. If you've never seen Frailty with Bill Paxton, highly suggest go watch it.
Yep.
So I want to double back because I didn't remember this, but so the iconic music, and it sticks in my head because one of my favorite scenes from the initial Predator is, you know, when Ventura does die, forgot rocking the badass MTV shirt.
Yep.
You see the relationship with him and Bill Duke's character, Mac, you know, and
super
you
tight.
know, and you know, Arnold even tells him, he's like, you know,
he was a good
he was
soldier.
a good soldier. You know what I mean? He said he was my friend.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, man, I was like this today. You know, when I was thinking about that, you know, and when I read my rewatch, I was like, ah, shit, I shut up. And then I always send this to my buddies, my bros, my guy friends. I send them that gif of that scene where he's like, just me and you, same kind of moon, same kind of jungle. Because it's like when you've partied together and you get fucked up, whatever. It's like I feel like that. I feel like Mac. I'm like, man, it's just us. And he's like, man, we were in that jungle. He's like 32 men, the whole platoon, just me and you walked out, not a scratch, not a fucking scratch. And they're drinking the booze. He leaves his flask with him. I'm like, man, that music that's playing, them horns, you know, that that comes back in this.
Yes.
When the Danny Glover's Hispanic friend dies and he goes to his grave.
That's right, yes.
And I was like, damn, that shit hit me. I was
which is always great, right? When they use the music still.
Ruben Blades, who plays Danny Archuleta, and he's also a big part of the cast, I think, in Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where I see him from. Yes.
Am I correct? Yes, I am correct. Okay, yeah, and he's great too.
Yeah,
he's great too.
Yeah.
Lots of Latinos in this one. Maria
Yes,
Conchita Alonso.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
The gentleman that played the Predator in Part 1 comes back in this one.
Okay, so it's him too.
Yeah, it's Kevin Porter Hall. Is that right? Kevin Porter Hall. Yes, he plays the Predator again. He's back. How did you feel about Gary Busey? So this is what I did like about
Gary
that. But I like that story where he was like, he finally is like, we're hunting him. You know, we're trying to get...
connects to the first one.
Yeah.
The whole footage, everything.
Yes.
They bring, you know, they even show Anna's face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's in the credits, and I was like, why is she in the credits? She only show her face.
They have to, though.
Right.
For the likeness.
But I also read that there was a scene that they filmed with her. It didn't like, I don't know if it's anywhere on deleted scenes, but they filmed a scene with her where they're debriefing her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And supposedly the story is that Gary Busey's character goes to Dutch to see him because he's got radiation poisoning.
Yes.
And he's trying to get that.
He disappears, right?
But where does all that story appear? Is it just in like what we read as fans?
Yeah, no. Apparently that I guess their script. You know how shit gets leaked, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, I wouldn't take that as canon. Obviously, the director was like, "No,
it's cool though.
It's cool," but obviously, the director is like, "No, just cut this."
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds cool. And then apparently, like Dutch disappears.
Yeah.
And they can't find him.
Yes, I like that too.
So
I like that
great,
too.
right?
Yeah, because he's out there somewhere, right?
Yeah. I like Gary Busey. This was a time when, man, the dude looked good. He was in good shape. He was, you know, kicking ass. Like I loved like the Lethal Weapon movie. This one, Point Break. He was on a solid road. Under Siege, he was on a solid road during this period.
Yeah. What about your guy that comes in there, that Robert Davi that plays the captain? I'm like, man, that's coming back as like in every 80s movie that I'm like, man, you're just a real... you're never liked. You're always an asshole. You're terrible. Also, the guy that Adam Baldwin is in there.
Yeah, he's Gary Busey's kind of like underneath guy.
Second-hand guy. Yeah, he's Animal Mother in Full Metal Jacket.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like I know him from other stuff
he's
too,
in
but
Independence Day too.
That's right. He's that
Mitchell. Something.
Yes, the Air Force
Major Mitchell,
officer. Right. But yeah, you know, Danny Glover's a cop. He goes.
How did you feel that they took it out of the jungle and into the city?
It was interesting to me, man, because you know, there's a lot of they made fucking L.A. bad. Man, and dude, did you read the director's stories about it?
Yes, I did.
Man,
yes, I did. That the alleys were ugly. They were some of the worst that they had to film.
They said giant rats.
He said were just shitting and pissing everywhere.
Yeah, he said that the people that lived in like the slums that were there would be mad. They would shit in bags and throw it at the cast. And I was like, he said that was the worst place to film. And I was like, what part of LA is that? Like, I never want to go to that fucking part of LA. That ain't Hollywood. That ain't Beverly Hills, LA.
Some really cool scenes. What's her name? Maria Conchita
Alonso. Yeah.
Goes up against Predator. Predator kind of sees that she's pregnant. leaves her alone.
What did you think about that?
I was like, oh wow, like I was kind of blown away. I was like, holy shit. So he's like, no, I'm not gonna. I was like, wow, the Predator like has his morals, like where he's like,
yeah,
okay, no, she's I guess a female. I don't know if they even have like, well, I'm sure they do or something. I don't know, but
I think it was more about that she was pregnant.
Exactly, the Predator recognized it, was like, nope,
yeah,
I'm gonna leave her alone. The scene where him and Danny Glover finally kind of go one-on-one with each other, and he's about to fucking detonate. I was like, wow, really? Like, you're already giving
That's
up?
it? Like, I'm sure you'd survive that fall.
Like,
You're a big bastard. Yeah,
I was like, wow. And then Danny Glover grabs his, like, saw, like, kind of mechanism
blade,
and cuts his hand. What a great face they show the Predator.
Yeah.
Like a shocked face.
And he calls him pussy face, too.
Which they kind of
inside the mouth.
I was like, wow, really?
I never realized that. I never was looking, like, deep inside the mouth. I'm more focused on like the mandibles.
I was like,
oh yeah, it does look pretty vagina-ish in there.
And then when he's cleaning himself, kind of covering the wounds.
I always remember as a kid thinking that was one of the coolest scenes. He crushes up the wall.
Which I was like, what the hell? I told my wife, I was like,
kindling.
I was like, he made a paste. He made a paste out of that shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he fixes up his arm, and then he's like screaming, Yeah. Of course, the funny scene with the lady, and he's like, boy, I'm a cop.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think he gives a shit. Yeah. Like, and then he's like bursting through the walls, right? Which you would think he would, because he's fucking huge, know? But yeah, that whole creepy scene of him falling in the hole, and you're like, what the fuck? Where's he going? You know? And then you're like, oh shit, he's on this ship. And this is like the first time we've seen the Predator's ship.
Yeah.
And they continue to battle, right? Double A. And he bests him. And then you're like, wow, we beat him. And you're like, man, what's going to happen? He's going to walk out. And something different happens.
Yeah. Right? All of a sudden you see like 3 or 4 Predators that just emerge.
And you're like, oh, he's fucked.
He's like, all right. Which one's next?
Like, he's just like, I'm gonna die right here.
I'm gonna die.
He knows like there's no way he can take him one more.
No, not one more.
I love the line he says when he's climbing the height. He's like, maybe I'll get lucky. I'll fucking fall. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, fuck, it's gonna die.
I mean, he's great. He's like, he actually was so much better than what I remember. Like, he really carried this movie really well.
I was like, wow, you don't have a lot of leading roles. And
And I've seen him, and he's great. He's great in Color Purple. He's really good in Witness.
But he's not the lead in Color Purple.
No, but I mean, have you ever seen like Witness?
I have.
He shows like a completely. He's an asshole in that one.
He's a good asshole in Shooter too.
Well, he's like a bigger asshole in Witness.
Yeah. Okay.
Harrison Ford. That's like the only time that Harrison Ford was ever nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, the dude can show range. It's just that we're used to seeing him being second fiddle.
Yeah.
To Whoopi Goldberg, to Mel Gibson, to whoever, to the Predator.
I guess he wasn't the lead.
But he does like so much more. It's like I said, it's kind of like Murtaugh rated R.
Yeah. And if you want to see a motherfucker look sweaty, he looks.
All of them.
It looks insanely hot there.
Hot everywhere.
That's another cool thing, right? That Anna says in the first one, she's like, this happens only in the hottest summers, and she's like, and this one has been hot, or the hottest times of the year. And then they're like fucking drenched in sweat. So it kind of brings that from Predator 1 too.
I never put that two together.
Yeah, the heat is like an element or whatever.
So after that, you see the other Predators kind of grab the other Predator.
They haul him off.
Yeah, and then you see one of the Predators hands him a old pistol, very, very old pistol that has like 1715 or I can't remember.
1715 is the year, yeah.
And you see some guy's name and you're like,
Raphael
holy shit.
Andolini.
You're like, wow. So these bastards have been coming to Earth for a really long time. Now, before we get into it, there actually did make a background for that gun. It was in the comics. I can't remember. Is it that one? Okay.
This issue right here. A Decade of Dark Horse, issue 1 of 4. Sin City, Predator, and Grendel. So there's 3 standalone stories. Who do we have right here, Double A? This is...
I don't know. Is that more?
This is a new guy? This might be somebody new.
I'm not too sure on that one.
Either way...
But there was a background to that gun that kind of was supposed to explain it, but apparently, that was kind of like the shocking thing, right? Sam was kind of like, holy shit, these guys have been here for a really, really long time, right? You're like, oh, fuck, So, and he gets a gun. It's kind of like it's presented to him as a trophy. Like, you beat one of our Predators, here you go. This is your reward, And then he has to get the fuck out because they start the engines. And he's like, oh, shit, I got to get out. Or I'm going to a Predator planet.
Yeah. And then what the fuck, right?
Yeah, so he gets out. He gets out on time. Adam Baldwin tries confronting him. He takes off when he sees the cops, and he's kind of alone. A wonder has that kind of same look like Arnold does in the first one, where it's like kind of stunned silence, right, Tim?
Yeah, and it's interesting because the guy, he's like, we were so close. He's like, you'll get your chance, asshole.
Yeah.
But here you guys go.
For
you guys
the visual.
watching us on visual, you can see there they reference the pistol again. Now, based on what we know now.
Yes. But at this time, this kind of gave the background of that.
Which was so cool, and you only got to know that if you read the comics.
Yes.
And they also said they were only going to do Predator 2 if the comic book series that came out after 1 had success. And it did. It was hugely successful. So that was interesting to hear, too, that they made their decision based on comic book success, Because there was no originally a sequel planned. It wasn't like now where like they already planned 2 sequels and shit, But
so then we get into a long lull, and there's nothing. You don't really hear from it at all, and like you said, comics maybe, but you really don't hear from it. And then all of a sudden, this new movie but by his studio, I guess, Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
We get Predators, starring Adrian Brody. What did you think of this one?
I want to talk about it, but before I do, I want to real quick say that we did see the Predator before this 2 times, and it's, again, not canon, but in 2004 was the first time we kind of saw the Predator on screen again, because that's when AVP first came out.
Oh, okay.
Alien versus Predator Part 1. So, again, based on what we saw at the end of and the reason why I like it is because the next time we saw the Predator was, kind of the last time we saw him in 1990. The alien skull is there, and people have been there. The comics are already out.
The comics have been there. They're super popular. They're really super popular comics,
and people wanted to see this on screen. Yes. You know what I mean? So,
and how much cool would it have looked like on screen?
Well, you know what?
I mean, that's what people.
Those battles are badass.
No, they are. But you're thinking in your head, man, how cool would it be to actually see this shit on screen? To actually see an alien, to actually see the Predators on screen.
And I just want to reference them, Double A, because at the same time we're doing this, because obviously Prey is out, and that's
again, this is kind of away from the story. Predators does continue the actual main storyline,
yes,
but this is kind of away from it.
And I want to mention them too because IMDb just dropped their Predator movies ranked by the IMDb rating. So this is like everyone that looks at a movie on IMDb, you can give a movie a rating. So they collected all the ratings of just the Predator. So they just put out their list, and I'll read it to you guys at the end before we do our own lists. But they included them because the Predator is in there or whatever. There is a Predator in there. But again, it's 2004, and it does kind of fuck up a lot of stuff, right? Because from everything we know, of course, Wayland Corporation's there and all that, but the alien was never on Earth.
No.
So this fucks all that up because it puts the alien at one time on Earth. But then again, remember,
this is kind of like Predators kind of grabbed them. It's kind of like this was their hunting ground.
Yes.
You know, and aliens were probably, it seems like the most formidable opponent that they have in the universe. So it was kind of like, this was kind of like the rite of passage. Was the Predator would come on Earth, fight this alien, and even had people, like a tribe of people that actually prayed to the Predators and would actually be the sacrifices to the aliens. So then when the Predators would come, the aliens would be ready to fight, for them to hunt. And this would be like their junior Predators, that it would be kind of once they kill an alien, that would be like their passage to becoming a full-fledged Predator.
Right.
I mean, I liked it. It was a cool story.
It's cool.
You don't have to get too fancy with this. I mean, it's just a really cool way of kind of introducing aliens and Predators. So
I wish there was a way they maybe could incorporate it in canon, because I mean, I feel like the fight scenes are cool.
Because I mean, obviously, look, it showed in part 2, Predators have been coming to Earth.
Yes.
For a very fucking long time, and then Prey expands. Well, Prey expands on that one even more, but
even more so.
But yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't.
But with Alien, it doesn't fit at all.
And then Predators keep coming to Earth. They keep fucking coming, and it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe there would be a history between Predators and the planet Earth.
Yeah, because in this one too, I had forgot, but Lance Henriksen's is this one. He plays a character named
Bishop.
Bishop.
I know.
Bishop
in the Aliens, he's Bishop, the android.
And I think that what it was is that there was directed by Paul Anderson. There was talks about them wanting the universes to be one, but I think the Alien universe did not want to incorporate the Predator, but the Predator was willing to.
That's a bad thing about kind of getting the studios together. It's kind of like you're never gonna get the full-fledged.
Yeah.
Probably.
Plus, especially with where we've gone back with Prometheus, we know that it doesn't fit. That the alien was,
of course, and again, it doesn't, but it's a cool kind of little movie
it's fun.
To kind of introduce it. It doesn't have to be canon to either universe. It's fun to just see an alien versus a predator, like a full-fledged predator that can take on an alien. Yeah. That was fucking cool.
You get that one scene where he shoots the net on that one, the head of it, and it burns those things in there.
You we saw this at the theaters. I don't remember if you were there.
I don't know if I was there with you guys, but I know I saw it in theater.
It was huge. It was like me and my brothers. Adam was there. I remember Adam being there, and some other people. And I mean, it was just kind of like this is all we wanted. We just wanted this. Nothing fucking fancy. Not a big story. Just it was cool. The pyramid. Fun. They're in there, these three kind of junior predators again, kind of trying to make their mark, and they're going after this alien. Like you said, the net part. That was fucking cool right away. It
sticks in your mind. Yeah. But man, he's like banging the alien in the roof. Like the fighting is fucking rad.
Fucking great.
It's fucking rad. Yeah. I mean, when I was watching it with my nephew, I mean, like he really enjoyed those parts. Which
I'm sure
that's what you
would enjoy. Yeah, exactly.
He give a shit about the plot. You know what I mean? Like
And like I said, same thing here. Just make it something that it's plausible, I guess, somewhat.
Right. But I wanted to touch on it quickly because that's 2004, and then
I think was a hit. I think it was just enough that it made just enough money that it did a sequel.
Which again, the next time we see the Predator on film is 2007 because they did Alien vs Predator Requiem. This one I did not like as much. It's even more. There's even like less of the alien and the Predator fighting. I think it ends like on a rooftop scene fighting, and like it's an okay fight. It's not as good as the first one.
That cover to AVP though is really cool.
Oh yeah,
I do love that.
Yeah,
that
definitely. Cover. Where it's like the globe, the
one that it showed, the one it showed before. Like
this one? No, the other one for the first one.
Yeah.
We're looking at IMDb guys, but one. Where it's
I've always loved that cover.
You got the Predator in the lower corner
really
and the alien kind of coming in on it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Whoever wins, we lose. Which I mean, what a great tagline too.
Right.
So super awesome. But yeah, I wanted to touch on them briefly because
they're just cool kind of movies. If you want it, we will recommend AVP. Yeah, if you want to see Alien versus Predator, we recommend the first one.
And if you just want to see them fight, I mean, you could probably just YouTube like AVP Requiem fight.
Yeah, but just go ahead because there's even that cool footage of them, like the aliens kind of overrunning the pyramid. Remember at one point?
Oh yeah, it's badass. Yeah,
when they all self-destruct
right before it self-destructs. Yeah, they self-destruct. So it's cool. I mean, it's fun. It's just like fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to mention them real quick. But then Double A was right about to talk about the 2010 continuation of the Predator solo franchise.
Because this actually still does connect to 1 and 2. So
yes,
and this one I really love. I love the whole plot of it. I love that you find out because you're thinking they're being parachuted, like somehow they're just like falling to the ground, and it's kind of like it's a big mystery again. It kind of has that feel again. It uses the music, which I'm like, yes, it still uses the fucking music from the first one. And then you see like, holy shit, they're not on Earth. They're on some fucking planet. That's habitable to humans. And they're being hunted by a few predators. And that's what really got me. I think was like, oh wow,
And what was the selling point on this one, Double A? Obviously, we were getting back.
I think that you're getting more because it had the S on Predator, so it's kind of like.
But did Robert Rodriguez have something to do with this?
He did. I think it's his studio because he kept
not
saying
him.
No,
because I think initially the thought was, when people say like, "Oh, presented by," we were all like, "Oh, he's going to do it."
Which probably would have been more interesting. I don't know. I really love this movie.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
It's cool because it's the assassins, right? It's a bunch of killers.
It's a Yakuza, Japanese member, like a Russian military. Adrian Brody's like a mercenary.
Yeah.
You got like a Colombian soldier, a doctor that you kind of learn more or less why he's there, and then you get like a prisoner, a jail dude, that's there.
Yeah. Is that the Jenny Trejo character?
Yeah, and then you get
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, which I was like, holy shit!
I forgot he was in that too.
He's in there.
I haven't rewatched this one in a while.
It's good. I like it. Like again,
I do remember liking it a lot.
Like I said, that opening scene is crazy because it's like he's like waking up Adrian Brody, but he's like falling from the sky. And he's like, holy shit, you know, and he opens his parachute and you see like a whole bunch, they all meet up together, like, what the hell's going on?
And they're trying to like learn a little bit about each other.
Yeah,
whatever, but...
yeah, because they're like, what the hell's the connection? Like, why are we here? Why
and they're not on Earth, right?
No, we find out like about like maybe midway in the movie, maybe that, you know, because they see like moons and you're like, holy shit. Like, the Predators have their own fucking hunting planet.
Yeah.
That they do. I'm not even sure if that is their planet or not, but it's like a hunting planet.
Like a hunting ground.
And you see where they've had other kind of species there.
Yeah.
Dropped there before.
And it makes me think, right, Double, like, we never really get a lot of, like, the Predator background or whatever. You know what I mean?
No.
I do know that there's a common term that they refer to the alien, the Predator, the alien, the creatures as. I've got to find what it is. But let's think about this real quick, right? So they must have been impressed enough with Earth to be like, let's just grab a bunch of Earthlings and drop them here and see how we do against the best Earthlings, you know? Like, I thought that was interesting.
And then there's that great scene, too. They're walking and they find a Predator tied up.
Yes.
You don't know why, obviously, but it's being tied up and you're like, what the fuck? And the main actress, she recognizes it right away. And, you know, Adrian Brody's like, what happened? Like, I saw you. What do you know? And then she tells a story about Dutch again. You know, the whole debriefing thing about from the first one. And it connects again to the first one.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, okay, cool. So they're keeping with that storyline still, you know? So that was badass. Lawrence Fishburne popping out. You know, he's like, I've been here 7 seasons.
Yes.
You know, it's like, damn. There's just like no way you're getting off.
So then it means like they always hunt human. Like they have respect for the human race because they continue. So it's kind of cool because it pumps us up a little bit. The word is yautja, or yautja.
Oh, okay.
But that's apparently this is a term that's never said in the movies, but they say it in one of the comic books. And Predator fans of the franchise have adopted it, and that's what they call it. So yautja, yautja. Just like the fucking xenomorph. I never knew it was called a xenomorph until later on, you know. But or yautja. I'm not sure if the J is soft or not, but that's what apparently the Predators are called.
They said aliens. She thought it was illegal aliens.
Gilbert in the house. What's up, Gilbert? Appreciate you being here, brother. He says
there was different skeleton species on the planet, so I don't think it was just humans. But the majority, I think you'll see.
But it seemed like this round was humans because they only dropped humans there. Yeah. How cool would a movie be where they drop multiple races, right? Like,
that would have been cool.
One xenomorph, one human, one Alf.
Yeah.
You know that?
I know.
We got to get an Alf in there. But yeah, so no, this one is fun because it was
very fun.
They're all kind of unsavory, correct?
Of course they are. Yeah.
Even Adrian Brody, who is,
but they start kind of working more and more together. But then they start dying. You know, there's that cool scene with Danny Trejo where he's dead. Yeah. It's like a trap.
Yeah.
You know, and they're kind of like throwing the voice. He's like, "Help me, help me!"
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, "No." And then he throws something, and it's like it explodes.
Yeah.
You know?
Reminiscent of 8 Ball being out there in Full Metal Jacket, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sniper.
Yeah. And then she shoots him, and then, it still talks. You know, it's like, oh, fuck.
The scene that burned in my memory with this movie is the one with him and the Yakuza guy, where they're out in that field.
What a great scene, right?
I was
classic samurai.
That shit is fucking tight, man.
So I read on that part that the director as a kid, that...
What's up, Gil? Get yourself a beer.
So the director was kind of like, he had never seen Predator, right? As a kid, right? No, as a kid. As a kid. But he kept hearing about this part with Billy. That one part with Billy.
Love that part, man.
But
we didn't even touch on that.
No. But, there's that part, he's like, oh, wow, so they're building up. So when he finally sees a movie, and he just sees Billy taking off his shit and cutting himself, but then you don't see nothing. He was like, what the fuck?
He felt cheated.
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck? Like, everyone keeps talking about that fucking part, and you don't see nothing. You just hear him scream. It's like, what the fuck?
Which adds to the horror element, right?
Yeah, but still, he was kind of like, why were they always talking about that? So this was kind of like his scene.
Yeah.
This was kind of like his Billy scene that I read.
Oh, I love that. I love that's what inspired that.
Where he took off his stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just him and the Predator, the sword and his spikes,
Right.
Which is a great fight.
Oh yeah.
That was a really great fight. And then how they both died, then classic Japanese, the whole,
Yeah, man. It's amazing. I love that. I need to rewatch it again because it's
it is good. It really is good. That was a good part. The guy, the dude who was in jail, has a really good part too, where he sacrifices himself for the other guys. Topher Grace, still can't help himself, and Adrian Brody gets him good,
Yes, which is awesome too. He's fucking paralyzed or whatever, right? I just want to double back real quick, though, because today watching, not today, but when I rewatched the first Predator, and I was just thinking about it, but thinking about that scene because I forgot about when Pancho tells him, he's like, "What did you see, Billy? You know something," and he's like, fuck, what is he? How does he say it? And he's like, "I'm scared. I'm scared, Pancho." That's all I'm scared. And he goes, "Bullshit. You ain't scared, no man."
Scared, no.
And then he goes, "It ain't no man." And then you're like, like you're more like getting like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it just, I was really realizing like this shit could be like a horror. You know what I mean? Like has so many.
No, it does. Elements. That's what I'm saying. That's what's good about that first one. It leads you to so many.
Absolutely. Adrian Brody is fantastic in this one. Though, man, super jacked.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy is
I've never seen him look like that. Especially after seeing like Winning Time, right? You're like, man, there's this one time where he was like fucking jacked up.
Yeah, he looked great, man, and it was awesome.
Probably my second favorite protagonist in the Predator franchise. Probably,
okay.
Is probably Adrian Brody.
All right, nice. Yeah. I like. Who's number one?
Arnold.
Okay,
Dutch.
let's go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I love that.
Unless someone can replace, Arnold's kind of like, protagonist. Arnold's gonna be number one.
We may get to her.
No, but I mean, just as like the protagonist.
Yes. No, I get you.
I can't. Arnold's just the man.
Oh yeah, Arnold's the man. I mean, I think we're gonna get to a point with that first one where we're gonna maybe say the same thing. I think. Gil says real quick. I don't know if it was said. I think Predators was a great throwback to the OG.
Yeah,
with a
big
sprinkle
time.
Of
That's what was great about this one. That's why
we're right on Predators.
That's why I thought this was a better part 2 than part 2.
Yeah.
It still had that feeling.
Yes.
Of the Predators.
Yeah. And we get that new Predator. Do we get that new Predator in this one? The bigger Predator?
No,
not yet. I'm thinking one ahead. I got one more. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else though about the Predators?
I loved it a lot, and I really wanted a sequel because of how this one ends. They do it. Both of them do it. They both survive.
Yeah.
Just like in part 1. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like. Shit, but then you see the parachutes coming down again.
Yes.
And you're like, man, and he's like, we gotta find a way to get off this fucking planet,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, all right, there's gonna be a part 2 because this one was pretty successful too.
This
did make money, but for whatever reason they didn't want to do it. They wanted to do a whole nother one. I was like, no.
And you know what's funny?
Come on.
Double just to mirror a little bit off that, I guess about maybe what would be, you could say, the Predator's rival, that being Alien or whatever. Yeah. Although some people will say. There's no comparison, and the alien's far more complex and all that, whatever. But I felt that way with Prometheus. I really wanted to see the continuation of her story, and we never got that. We got Covenant instead, and I was it just feels like there's a hole there. You know what I mean? And I guess you can always go back and make that film, but I mean that's how I felt too with Predators. I was like, well, you want that next movie, right? Why do it that way?
But I thought this was a great number 3. Mm-hmm. Again, I thought it was a far better sequel for Predator than Predator 2, but I think, wow, what a great part 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like it.
I liked it a lot. It showed another fucking layer. So first you had the jungles of the United States, then you had LA, the city, and then you had this whole other alien planet,
like a hunting ground.
Yeah,
where like everything's kind of foreign to you in a way. So and then you're with amongst. Not only are you with you're with other humans, but they're also ill-intentioned humans. You know what I mean? So that's another element. Because you got to ask yourself like, well, how do we make this?
I mean, like Lawrence Fishburne, you're thinking, okay, cool, he's gonna help him. He survived, and then he tries killing him.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh fuck, okay.
It's kind of Walking Dead vibes, right? Where it's
bad, like, real bad.
Whoever's there for you're out for yourself.
Lawrence Fishburne's like, you're not gonna get out of here. And I only have enough to survive on my own. I can't help all you guys.
Right.
So
right. Great. Predators is great. Love it. Nothing wrong with that one at all.
So this next one was really hyped up. Because it was Shane Black.
Yes.
Right? So it's kind of like, okay, cool. One of the actors from the original movie and his resume too. He's going to be writing and directing this movie, so people are like really
high
excited.
Expectations for sure. I remember that.
The Predator, that's what they called this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Predator, and I remember the trailer. I remember seeing like, whoa, this Predator is fucking big.
Yes,
This
we're
is a
getting
big
like
fucking Predator.
kind of a different looking Predator, right?
Yeah. What do you think?
I didn't love it at first.
Okay.
But when I rewatched it, I watched it with my nephew because he wanted to see them all. And he really loved the story. He loved the little boy. Like, he was like, he said it early on in the movie. He's like, I hope the little boy doesn't die. And I was like, okay, like for you, you're relating to a character. And of course, I take joy in seeing him like enjoy something that's like, well, at least we're watching, the Predator together. You know what I mean?
What did you think of the storyline with the Predators with the human DNA? Did you like that story whatsoever?
No.
That they're doing that to keep themselves advanced?
Yeah, no. That was
kind of stupid, right?
Yeah, it was. There was some things.
I remember when I was watching, I was like, "Huh?
Yeah,
human DNA." I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, that wasn't my favorite. And things like that are specific to the plot like that, I didn't care for.
What got me was like, I was like, they're kind of ripping off Alien.
Yeah,
because supposedly like in Alien lore, whatever body they go into, they're supposed to have features, I guess, of that whatever hosts.
Okay.
That they do.
Kind of see that in Prometheus. Yeah. All right.
Gilbert says, I think I remember reading that Arnold was scheduled to be in Predators, but due to being in California office, he couldn't. I wish a small part would have happened.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have maybe added more to that because it was.
So I had forgot when I saw The Predator that the main character is a Corinthian.
Yeah, Boyd Holbrook. I had forgot too, and we had talked about what a fine actor he was, and you mentioned that last week, and I was just like, oh yeah, that is him. He's the dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his look is great in that role, whatever.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's weird seeing it like that after seeing the Corinthian.
And like I know it's goofy, like the kid running around with the helmet at Halloween, and like,
oh man, what kind of got me though was kind of like when the thing killed that dude. I was like, oh shit. You remember when that kid like threw something at him?
Oh yeah,
and fired back. I was like, "Holy shit, he just killed someone!"
Yeah, that just
I was like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "Add murder to that kid's resume."
Yeah, I was like,
quick.
"What the fuck? He just killed someone."
Yeah, and again, you're like, "Oh, that kid was an asshole,"
and then he's all like,
"Ugh."
Like, after he kills her, I was like, "Oh fuck."
And then you've got like Keegan Michael Key in there, obviously from
What do you
Key
think of the PTSD guys? The PTSD soldiers, not just him. It was like Thomas. What's his name? The Punisher.
Yeah, Thomas Jen. There were things that were cool about them because in the end, they were like willing to risk it all. And I remember by the end, my nephew again too was like, "Oh, I don't want that guy to die. I don't want that guy." Like I was like, "Okay, you're pulling for them." You know what I mean? Like that's cool. Like I was seeing it through his eyes at this time because the first time I was kind of like, "This shit is like comic relief."
No,
that's kind of
it's fun to have your own kind of opinion because I kind of felt the same way too. Like. And I guess the woman thing must be like a strong thing because obviously now we have another partnership. We have Olivia Munn here with Boyd Holbrook.
I did dig that. Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like now that we're going back, it's like Arnold and the other chick.
Right.
Danny Glover and I guess Maria Alonso. The third one with Adrian Brody and
the one from the Mexican chick. She's a Mexican chick also. I think she's Mexican.
She's from Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I think she also was in that other show, right? The Queen of the South or something.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? It was kind of like it has that theme too.
Yes.
So it's kind of
like that. You're
Boyd
sticking with that.
And Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
And again, it connects to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They tell the story of Dutch, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It was okay. Some cool parts. I just didn't like the hybrid thing. I didn't like how they wanted to steal the sun. So
what do you think about the dog, the predator dogs?
Well, they kind of introduced that in Predators.
That's right. They did show that too, right? I forgot about that. Yeah.
Some good moments, I guess. Not a whole. Wasn't great. Not what you probably would have expected.
Right. I can't think of like.
And I saw it. I was like, no, this isn't doing it for me. Like, it was fine. I did like how that Predator was trying to help the humans.
Yes, I thought that was cool too.
I thought the suit was pretty cool looking.
Yes, I agree.
At the end.
And like kind of that first fight, I think is pretty solid. And I was like, okay, it's like cool. You're seeing two predators fight.
Yes.
We don't think we had ever seen that.
And he gets smashed pretty bad.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does by that whatever that hybrid is.
That huge predator.
Yeah, that huge one. Yeah. Which I kind of thought I was like, okay, we're just making him bigger and bigger. Is that what the move is here? Like,
but it's kind of like after seeing that one, you'd be like, oh shit, maybe that's it for the predator. After seeing that one, maybe you're thinking like, okay, well, they kind of ran out of steam. It's kind of like, I remember when I saw it, I was kind of like, why didn't they just make the sequel to Predators? You know, why didn't they just do that? You know?
No,
why did they make this one for, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, again, me watching on my nephew helped it a lot for me. But again, I don't think of it as really highly quotable. I obviously own a copy now. I say about that owning, but I own it because it's part of the series.
Oh, and it's cool to have. It really is. It's like
again, I'm sure if I watched it, tonight, I would find a few good things.
Maybe, but yeah, as far as like comparing it to the other three, it's very weak. It's very, very weak movie.
I can say this right now that like if one day my nephew, was like, hey, Uncle Charlie, let's watch, Predators. I'd be like, yeah, let's watch The Predator. I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's put it on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh, come on, hold on, let's not watch that one. And I'd be like, yeah, let's watch it. Because, there were things about it that he likes. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Because you know what? Sometimes we watch it, I'm sure that, like, our kids are like, fuck, that's stupid. You know what I mean?
I posted in our group, the Friday Night Faithful, I posted, remember, my guilty pleasure was Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody sits down to watch with you, right? They're like, Dad's watching his dumb movie.
Yeah. And when you look at it, it's hard not to disagree. It's just there's something about the movie that I love. I love so much.
I remember showing even my sister, Untamed by Amy something one time, and then she was like, I forgot what it was, and she was like, man, bro, the creatures just look sorry. And I said, no, I know, but that's like part of the charm. Like it's like
something.
And then she's like, yeah, and she's like, I was like, don't. Like, she's only 5 years younger than me. Like, don't tell me you're used to like this sharp CGI we have now. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, like allow yourself to suspend disbelief.
Overall though, this it had some good parts.
I
like how they still kind of kept the military aspect of it. The groups. It was funny when I saw Tommy Shane and Keegan kill each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way the other guys too, the force field when it comes off and it cuts that dude's legs off, I was like, ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah. There's some funny back and forth.
The way the one dude sacrifices himself, he throws himself into the Predator engine.
Yeah.
So he can have a chance to save his son. That was pretty.
That's pretty cool. Rad. Pretty fucking heavy. Yeah. I was like, okay. What did you think about? Kind of at the end, how it's the kid that's like the threat, you know what I mean, and like the whole
that's the thing. I read a lot of thing that people were kind of pissed off. They're like really using that kind of autistic to show this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. The kid thing always kind of throws me off. I'm kind of like,
I know it's hard. It's a tough sell, you know what I mean. On that, you didn't think. I guess I didn't think that Shane Black was gonna go that way. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, that was weird.
Is there a new comment there?
Yeah, Gilbert says, did Disney own Fox by the time The Predator was released? And if so, maybe that's why there was not a direct sequel.
I don't think that they did, actually, but I think that maybe, like, Shane Black being attached, they expected something different, you know what I mean? And
just because he's part of the original, and, like, again, his hits that he has written.
I think I remember, too, there's a little bit of hype, and I felt like a little bit flat afterwards.
It was very flat
I was like, I feel pretty flat after this. And as much as I liked Predators, and the way you're seeing things now, because I mean I think we're pretty much done with the Predator.
Yes.
Right? And we're going to get into the most
one.
recent installment in the franchise. Is that people have been saying now, they're like, this is the first good Predator movie since like. Some people even saying the first one.
And I hate saying I hate it because it's kind of like we've mentioned it. It's not just this. We've mentioned it on this podcast. When a new movie comes out, right away people are always saying it's the greatest thing ever.
Sure.
It's like wait for it to marinate a little bit before you start making those kind of accusations, because me and you both revisited Predator and me and you were both blown away by it again. Mm-hmm. We're like, wow, this was actually a really fucking good movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this kind of borderlines on horror. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. It still holds up, still good.
Yeah.
Completely quotable. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if there's any quotes I pull out of any of the other ones we talked about. Not one.
Probably not.
There might be some memorable moments. Definitely Predator 2 memorable moments.
Honestly, the only quote that's kind of in all of them, almost.
If it bleeds.
No, not just that. You're one ugly motherfucker.
You're one ugly motherfucker. That's
except for Olivia Munn, where she's like, she calls him like a beautiful motherfucker or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, but still, it's kind of that quote. It's like the only one that kind of sticks around. You know.
So let's talk about it, Double A.
Yeah,
let's talk about it. Last
It was very
week.
anticipated. Hulu, which I was excited about. I would have loved to have seen this movie at the theater.
Man,
but
me too.
But
what a miss, right? Like
it is a miss.
Maybe
I
getting
can't
it wrong.
believe they didn't have faith in the Predator. Like, it has such a huge fan base. I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger, but you know what? I was like, okay, cool. Well, it's on streaming, so you know, fuck it. You know, I'll make some pizzas, make some nachos, and fucking have a
Hell
view.
yeah.
You know, and I got to see it on Sunday. I got to relax on my couch. I got to see it on Sunday. The plot was just very fascinating for me. Right off the bat, you know.
Before we start, will you drink an Oktoberfest with me?
Yes.
All right. For y'all out there in Beerland, we're gonna do a Yingling Oktoberfest. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know it was out, so I picked up a sixer.
Twisty or Danny?
Oh, Twisty. There should be. Oh, I was gonna say how Oktoberfest did they get? They went to Oktoberfest by putting a non-Twisty. So, cheers, Double A, as we talk about
I didn't
now.
know they were doing this. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And again, we want to give all the love and respect to our buds over at Now Watch This. They did ask us to do an episode on Pray With Them.
We may still.
We may still. We're not opposed. They do a different format.
Yeah, this is totally different.
When they do it, they're like watching the movie, which is so fun. So just because we're going to talk about this part, we're covering the whole franchise,
yes,
so that's why we're
yes.
discussing it. So still watch this.
Yeah.
Not now. Don't watch now. Watch this now.
Watch
this now.
We don't
watch
know,
that later.
Yeah, we don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't know that we're going to get together with them, but yeah. But yes, go ahead, W. You were saying made some pizza,
the
made some
trailers
nachos.
kept coming out. Yeah, the trailers kept coming out. Looked great.
I feel like I didn't know about it. It was kind of off my radar.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, new Predator movie? And I was
okay,
cool.
okay.
And I think when I did finally hear about it, Prey, I was like, oh, cool name. They went Predator, Prey.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, it's going to be in theaters. I just thought automatically.
I thought so too. I did not know. All of a sudden, it was like 2 weeks before the movie was coming exclusively on Hulu. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, well, fuck it.
Which you're my Hulu plug because I have no
yes.
Hulu, but I got my man right here take care of me.
Yeah, so I mean the setting was completely different. I thought it was gonna be kind of further back, but I was like, oh, okay, it's 1715.
Yeah, or no, I think it's 1719.
19, which I didn't. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So we're gonna go there. It's gonna be. It looks like America, I guess. I'm gonna say it's somewhere.
Wherever they're at is beautiful.
Yes.
I was like immediately in love with the environment, the tall pine trees. Mm-hmm. The mountains, I was like, wherever the fuck that at is gorgeous. And really then, gorgeous.
It's Native Americans. That's just always pretty fucking cool. You know, the big game hunt. I mean, they were the hunters. They were the badass hunters, trackers, everything.
Quickly, before I want to say, I sat down and watched this with my sister, my mom, and Jess. All three of them absolutely loved it. My mom especially. My mom talked about it to me. She goes, "Milo, that movie with the Predator and the Indians was so good." Forgive her not using correct nomenclature.
Fine.
She doesn't say Native Americans, but she finds their culture so beautiful and all that.
It's great.
And she loved it. For her to gush later on about it, my mom doesn't know how to work Hulu and all that stuff. I gotta let her know, Mom, you want to watch it again? I'll sit and watch it with you because Jeremy hasn't seen it yet. Okay. And real quickly, I want to mention that because we have my girlfriend's youngest with us right now, Jeremy. He watched Taxi Driver for the first time this week.
Shit.
This guy could not stop texting me Double A about it.
Really?
He said, I literally was at the edge of my seat. I never been at the edge of the couch like that on a movie.
Really?
He goes, I didn't know what was gonna happen next. He said, this is easily, if not my new favorite movie, in my top 3 favorite movies.
Shit.
And I was just like, welcome to the club, brother.
Wow.
I said, welcome to the club. He was like, I need a poster for my wall.
Wow.
Of this movie.
Holy
and
shit.
he said, man, I had no idea how good it was. He goes, I know you guys always talk about it. I said, your cousin Adam, your cousin Will are huge fans too. And I know Boy likes it as well. I said, no, there's so much stuff in that movie. I said,
I bought that movie. I had never even seen it. I just bought it.
I did not know that.
Because the cover just looked so fucking cool when I had bought it on VHS.
I do know that. I think the first time I saw it was in your mom's living room with you guys. Because I was like, I don't think I'd ever heard of this one.
Never heard of it. Never seen it. I just saw Robert De Niro. I saw Martin Scorsese. I bought it. I begged my dad to buy it for me. Yeah. And I watched it, and I was like, wow, this fucking movie's awesome. I was like, wow. Only to find out how big of a movie it was. Like, in cinema history.
I know we're not on our Scorsese episode, but yeah, just go check out our Scorsese episode, whatever. But I mean, Taxi Driver. I mean, I was proud for him. I was like, proud moment. I was like, good job, kiddo. You got there.
Wow, that's pretty cool casting. The protagonist equals the next X-23.
I've been seeing that. Jerry D from the Friday Night Faithful said that too. He did that too. Great call. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and apparently somebody else mocked it up already. Really? They did the mock up. They were like, let's give her all the credit that's due.
Yeah, because she was great. She was wonderful. And the one who plays the brother, was really good too.
Amber Midthunder is her name, who plays Naru in Prey. And then her brother Dakota Beavers, who plays Tabe. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but Tabe, I think. He was also wonderful. They were both badass. I loved that it was her brother sister. Yeah. I'm close with my sister, so that's cool. But yeah, and apparently this is the first film with a majority Native American cast led that had this amount of success. Okay. So that's really cool too to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is like it blew up Hulu big time. Like,
man, I was never happier to have access.
It just goes to show you too, right? Like, wow, how come they didn't pull the fucking plug? It's a Predator franchise. Like, you just saw the success it had.
Maybe you know, Double A, like shit has been so choppy at the theaters, man. Like people almost feel like if you ain't Marvel, you ain't making it at the movie theater or whatever. Yeah. And then even that, after the Marvel shit comes out, people are talking about how they fucking sucked and stuff like that. You know, it's like shit. I'm worried.
Maybe that's
what
people are like. It's weird, but maybe that's what people are thinking. Like, oh, we don't want that negative reaction, which is stupid, right? It's like you have a franchise that is rich in mythology, and you just put it on your streaming.
Well, also you got to believe in your movie. I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. This would have done. I think this would have done well.
I wouldn't doubt if they think about a theatrical run now.
I think so. I really think they do now.
Man, so I mean,
but I enjoyed it in my home. Me, my wife, and my daughter saw it. We really enjoyed it. We're like really comfortable.
Yeah. Last Sunday, closed the shades at our house, and I was like,
but man, the movie's great. The scenery's great. The Predator, way different looking Predator, huh?
Yes, that threw me off a little bit because in part 1 and part 2, Predator and Predator 2. I like that the creature kind of looked the same. Yeah. As we move along through the other Predators, I'm like, oh, he looks kind of different.
Even Predators, they still kind of kept it like that. Like the helmets change.
Yeah.
But the Predators themselves look still the same.
And I think in the AVP ones, they look a little different too, because there's some that kind of, I don't. This one doesn't. His head doesn't come off this little figure here, but I know there's some they saw where they kind of have like more of like a red.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on like the movies, how much more they can add. Yeah, I guess of their bodies.
Right, and again, I guess they would look different. See, right here's the spot where his little thing goes, the little disc thing.
Yes.
But
this one looked completely different, and then I thought so. I was like, man, did they get the look? Because there's a scene too in Predator Part 2 where the helmet kind of looks like the helmet that this Predator is using.
Oh, really?
And I was kind of like. I was like, is that like one of them? I was like, I don't know. I could have sworn. Yeah. I was like, it was at the very end when he's looking at the skull collection. Mm-hmm. It's at the very end over here. And you pause it, it kind of looks like that Predator looking one, which I wouldn't understand why he would have that why he would have that skull.
I don't know. That's
interesting. But it looked like
that's a catch I didn't catch at all.
And then, as you find out more and more how it connects to Part 2, it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Well, because, this would be an older alien because it was from back, an older Predator.
And I guess it would make sense, right? Like, it would still be technically more advanced than the humans, but maybe not more advanced as the Predators kept going along.
The ones we saw in like
where they're really advanced, where they have even though this one still had the camouflage. Like I was like, damn, you still have that.
Which is funny because like the 1990 Predator 2 takes place in 1997. It was like,
oh shit,
yeah, all right.
I didn't even notice that.
It was like the future, but it was like, not really.
97 must have been a bad year.
Yeah, I
guess
that's
when Terminator starts.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was maybe in.
I think
freshman year.
I think Terminator, the whole thing, Judgment Day starts in 97.
Shit. I was like,
I'm glad we're past that.
We're way past that. Yeah. But damn,
you know what part I really loved, which I was kind of like, ooh, finally they're kind of showing something really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The bear scene.
Oh, right.
Where the bear is actually fucking giving that predator a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah.
Like, it actually stands up, and you actually see him, both of them, like, really going at it. He's fucking up the predator pretty good.
Which, I mean, because you got to ask yourself, right? Like, I know the predators are big, but, what do they weigh? Because they say a big bear like that can weigh like 800 pounds.
So let's just throw it out there. Maybe, it seems like the standard height for a predator is about 7 foot.
Yeah.
It seems like it. Just going based on that. The way it looks, probably the bones are probably heavier because it's leaping everywhere.
Sure. Well, I've seen an image, and I don't know where it comes from, but like, because people, I guess, have these, like, they get them like 3D printed for their home, but like a predator skull, and it's weird because it has all the holes in the back, where like the
for the helmet, right?
The dreadlocks.
Like when it's okay.
Well, yeah, because I guess that's like kind of their hair.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
but it's like that's where it would go. And it looks itself like fucking big, so I'm like, well, that would weigh.
But like I said, maybe 7'2".
Yeah.
Maybe you weigh him at 300, 400 pounds.
Yeah, maybe? I could see that. So that means you're still outweighed if it's a bear by possibly 300 fucking pounds. I mean, it's like, you're still, outmatched a little bit. You know what I mean?
Unless you want to make them heavier, but I can't see a predator weighing 500.
Yeah, then you're making the bone. Well, remember in part 2 when he's running on the cars, he's like.
That's what I'm saying. Like you actually see like the bastards leap from tree to tree.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe they can't be that heavy, but.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, but yeah, the thing with the bear was fucking awesome.
But that was great. It was kind of funny, like you're seeing it against like another kind of beast, kind of like. Not human. That's kind of what you always want to see, like in these predator movies.
Yes.
Like how would it do against something like that? And
yes.
It showed the bear kind of fucked him up a little bit before it kind of like eventually got it. And that's a really cool part too when it picks up the bear
and the blood.
And it's like, oh,
yeah, and you're kind
of the blood's dripping.
They do a good job too of keeping this creature kind of out of sight. We don't really get a good look at it for a while.
And you just mentioned it being heavy, but then it picks up the bear like that.
Yeah.
So
the strength is.
Strength is obviously they're a lot stronger than we even thought from the first Predator movie because we were talking about him and Dutch going at it.
Yeah.
So he can hold his own against that bear no matter how much the weight. Obviously it lifted the fucking bear up. So
yeah. No, but that was awesome. I had this feeling throughout the movie where I was thinking, I was like, man, she's not super badass.
No, she's not.
And then even by the end, although she got way cooler, I never felt like I was like, oh, she's like a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that, and again,
it's true. It's not.
But I like that.
I felt like that too. I was kind of like, man, she sucked for most of the movie, because even where she like falls, like, where she first, I guess, has an encounter with the predator.
Yeah.
On that limb.
Yes.
As she falls, she still stabs.
Right.
Motherfucker, but I was like,
yeah.
What? I don't know.
I liked that. I like that though because it's like if they would have made her like when I think of like my chicks that are badass, I think about like Michonne. It's like I think about like the Bride from Kill Bill.
Yes.
It's like they're so badass. I'm like, oh, I want to be them for Halloween. They're fucking badass. You know what I mean? Like those chicks. I like that it was kind of like she.
But then again,
was in the struggle.
But then again, you mentioned it, and I had not thought about it until you mentioned it today. Was you don't beat the predators by brawn.
Exactly.
You beat them by brains.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the theme that you kind of have throughout. Adrian Brody did that. Arnold does that. Boyd Holbrook kind of does that.
Yes.
They all. You're not going to beat the predator's strength. You're not going to.
No.
It's like with boxing, right? Don't punch with it.
Right.
It's like you don't punch with Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
You outbox him.
You almost got to be like a Mayweather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true because their tech is better. Their hunting skills are better.
Yes.
It's like you've got to think.
And
outside
obviously,
the box.
you just saw the motherfucker just lift up a bear like nothing. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, he's gonna break me.
But not only that, but throughout the movie, the thing she's already showing brains because she's the only one that knows it's something else.
Oh no, she's smart. That's one thing that they are talking about. Yeah, she's
cougar
smart.
Or whatever you call it, mountain lion, cougar.
Yeah,
whatever
she's like, no, this is wrong. This isn't the thing.
There's
we're
something
supposed to be
else
hunting.
out
There's
there.
something bigger. Yeah.
And I do. I do like how she learned to use the gun. They showed her that, and she's like, okay, let me learn how to use the gun. once the new Raphael Andolini show.
What did you think of that whole storyline with those motherfuckers? Man, that was terrible scene, right, with the buffalo. It's
man, it's fucked up, man. I didn't think that was gonna come into play. Like, I thought there was gonna be no white people in it. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with that storyline, but I just didn't think that. I was like, oh, it's gonna solely focus on like this tribal region and that's what's gonna happen. But no, it was fine. I mean, like, I was like, oh, that's interesting because. At first, I was thinking, why would the Predator do that? Like, is this like a rogue Predator? Like, I'm still thinking about the Predator.
I was thinking, that can't be the Predator. I was like, it's fucking Hunter. It made me think of a Revenant. Because that's what they were doing in a Revenant. So I was kind of like, okay, that's what these motherfuckers are doing.
I still need to watch that. I haven't watched that.
It's fine.
Speaking of fighting a bear, right?
It's a good viewing.
Okay. I
wouldn't say it's one of the best, but it's a good viewing.
When I want a bear fight, I think of Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall. He fights a bear in that one too. Yeah. So, spoiler alert, doesn't win. So, yeah, 9 times out of 10 you go against the bear. But
he's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, maybe Yogi Bear. You might win you give him a pick a nigga basket. You can kind of tell when the booze hits us, right? Yeah. So. It was cool. What'd you think of it when you saw it?
I liked it. No, I liked it, but I didn't think right away.
I liked that it added another element of danger.
Yes.
It's like,
But I didn't think right away it's the best Predator movie. I didn't think that right away.
Okay.
I thought it was just a really
I just meant
movie.
about the aspect of the Frenchmen being there. I liked that they were French.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought it was cool. It kind of showed the Predator what else it can do. Because so that was kind of cool. The gun thing was a surprise. And I even saw it. I was kind of like, is that the fucking gun from?
That shot me all the way.
I was like, is that from part 2? I was like, holy shit.
I did get a little bit sad because I was like, it erases the story.
The canon.
You know what I mean? I was like, you know what I mean? Like, unless you could somehow place it, because, again, remember, by 1997. The Predator's giving him the gun, so at some point it gets the gun back, right?
Yeah, which I was kind of like, so what happens? Now it's kind of like you got thinking, right? Like, well, what the fuck happened to her?
Right, right. And see, you got to tell yourself that too. Like, what?
It kind of sucks, right?
We've never had a Predator movie AA where the Predator wins, right?
No,
except the AVP. Well, even it doesn't really win. Yeah, hey, whoever wins, we lose.
No, but that kind of does make you wonder, right? It kind of makes you wonder
because the gun gets back into their...
because somehow they get in their possession again. You're like, oh no, did they go back? Was there other predators like they show like in part 2?
Yeah,
kind of like looking on was, are they after her? Is that their number one prey now? Is that what the movie's called, Prey?
They do make her the war chief, right?
Yes, they do. But now it's kind of like now she has a bigger target on her back, so it's kind of like fuck.
But I also see them never like strike twice. If anything,
and that's the thing. Why would they take the gun back? That was like her trophy. You wouldn't think like if you're giving someone the trophy, you're not going to take the fucking trophy back. Obviously, their trophies are the skulls.
Yeah, exactly.
Which they do a great job of cleaning.
Yeah, man, and bleaching, right? Apparently, to bleach the skull has to sit out in the sun.
They're cleaning it. Damn.
I love the way their hands, all these little things they do.
They take out like so perfect. They just rip out the spine, and the skull just pops out. Like, damn, it's beautiful work.
But whatever they're doing, their neosporin is very painful. Apparently,
they're like,
when I pour peroxide on myself, I'm not like,
my goodness.
Gil says Sigourney Weaver. Go ahead, Delay.
Sigourney Weaver ahead of her time in terms of female leads, which sucks because it took 40 plus years for something like this in terms of leads. It was like her and Linda Hamilton were like really the only big time action stars.
And even then, you still felt as though like Arnold was the lead in that movie. She's definitely a badass chick,
especially in part 2.
Oh, it's super badass. When they put her in Fortnite, I'm always bring up Fortnite because I play with my nephew, and we have a blast playing it. But they put the Terminator, the exoskeleton in there, or endoskeleton because it's inside. Whatever they put the skeleton in. The companion piece to that is they put her. You can be her.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I saw Dark Fate because of her.
Yeah,
because she was back.
You know what? And I need to watch that one still or whatever.
You really don't need to watch it, but damn. I watched it because of her though.
Damn.
Honestly, I did.
So, like how we feel about Alien vs Predator Requiem. You don't really need to, but just Google
just
YouTube the fight and you'll be good.
Yeah.
But no, man, this one was good all the way through. It had some cool stuff. Again, there was never a.
Oh, I love that part where she runs into the field after he kills like the rest of the hunting group, and then the other guys there, and they're both like in the they're ducking, you know, in the shrub.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden you just see the fucking his scope thing come out. And you're like, oh shit!
Yeah,
like,
you're
run,
like, fuck.
run.
And you know what? There was another aspect about this movie with that where I was like, man, y'all still got that tech? Like, you're against like a primitive,
a very primitive.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all use spears and like your arm blade things. I'm like, you can't just use that. That's the one thing
why I've never been that big of a Predator fan, because I'm kind of like,
they'd be overkilling it.
Yeah, I'm like you shouldn't have that tech yet.
That's like me and you go be like, let's go fucking hunt some fucking possum with fucking machine guns. And we're like, it's like, hell yeah, we gotta kill. You know what I mean?
Like, it's like that. There's a great scene in Time Cop, the Van Damme movie, where it's like the very beginning. It's reference. Like it's Civil War time.
Okay.
And this guy comes from the future because they need their gold. They're shipping like a whole shipment of gold. Well, he has machine guns.
Oh fuck!
So it's like he wipes out like that whole platoon of Confederate soldiers, like just like that. Wow. You're like, wow, like
fuck,
shit. If you only gave like two guys like those fucking machine guns, you're like, you can take out a whole army.
It's funny in this movie, right? In Prey, when like they shoot that first volley, and then you see them all like start to reload. You're like, y'all are fucked.
Yeah, that was great.
I think in my living room, we were all like, oh. I think my mom even said something in Spanish like, "No, hombre," like that's it right there. Like you gonna get your ass killed right now. I thought the mask was cool. The Predator looked cool.
It was okay. Well, it makes sense. At least that it was kind of like, okay, you're not too far ahead,
too techie, without the mask looked different too, right?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like a helmet whatsoever. So, almost, it was really different.
Yeah, but yeah, it was cool. You know, like I was like, man,
I liked it. Cool. It was really good. It kind of brought it back after the Predator. You know, it kind of the Predator really went far. This one kind of brought it back to where it needs to be. Yeah. If they do it, man, I hope they follow up and like again, it's kind of like, well, how do you get the fucking gun back? Because that's what you're thinking. I was like, how did they get it back? Did they kill her? Did it go back? I mean, did they try to keep hunting her ass?
And you're right. They're kind of specific about trophies, so it's kind of
it's kind of like,
you know what I mean, like. This would almost be like it was given back as like a mutual show of respect or something.
Yeah,
like that,
because that's what happens in AVP when he gives her that spear or whatever.
Right.
With the alien.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very interesting. But absolutely great movie. Deserved to be in theaters.
For sure, and it did. It should have. Why didn't it put the button on there? It's a Predator franchise. Obviously it's showing blowing up in Hulu.
Yeah, so. When I was done watching it, it was like, it's rare that I get this little like earworm in my brain, but my thought was like, I can't wait to watch it again. I don't really ever feel that way, but it's like, like with a lot of things, like there's certain things but I really can't wait to watch this again. When, like when I said, when Jeremy got there this weekend, he was like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, dude, we will watch that this weekend for sure if you want. It's fucking great. You know what I mean? So I loved it. I put it pretty high up on my list. I think it went up pretty high.
Okay.
You want to do a rankings?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, quickly before we do that, I just want to read you guys.
Are we doing the AVPs though? In his ranking, or are we just doing the 5?
Will it fuck you up if we include them? You might just put them at the bottom, right?
Well, I don't know.
Try to think about them. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys real quick.
From IMDb, according to, I guess, multiple...
people that rated the movies, they grabbed, like, all the people that rated, right? So, they rated number 1, Predator, the original, 1987. Number 2, Prey. And I'll tell you the rating. So, the first one, Predator, had a 7.8 stars.
That's pretty fucking high.
Yeah. Number 2, Prey, had a 7.2.
That's pretty good.
The number 3, Predators. Okay. It got a 6.4. Number 4, Predator 2, 6.3.
Oh, damn.
Number 5, Alien versus Predator, the first one, 2004, 5.6. Number 6, The Predator, a 5.3. And then number 7, Aliens versus Predator, Requiem with a 4.6. So that's it. And if you include Aliens vs Predator in this franchise, there's a total of 7 movies. If you don't include them, there's a total of 5,
which is still a lot.
So
I'm kind of like, wow, I was surprised when I kind of went back. I was
yeah,
like,
me too.
Damn, there's 5 Predator movies, like just standalone Predators.
And this is
like, holy shit,
pretty beloved character because look, you have some of the comics. I've got some comics. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm surprised I don't own any action figures, and I'm surprised it took me this long to own the movies. I mean, but like the Predator has come out in games. I think he's in Mortal Kombat too. He's
great look. It's like Rob Liefeld says. You know, it's all about the visuals. A lot of times, people grab the visuals. It's a very visual medium, and if you create a character that has the visuals, I mean, it's going to be very popular. You know?
Yeah. And then we had some iconic moments that set it off with Arnold in the beginning. So,
the Arnold stuff, in part 2, the alien skull. You know, I mean, you know, so yeah.
You want to go first? Or you want me to try to go first?
Sure.
Okay, go for it, Dylan.
Okay, so first is still Predator.
Mm-hmm.
That's still number 1 for me. My number 2 is Predators. That's still my number 2. Then it would be Prey. And then it'd be Predator Part 2. Then it would be AVP. Then it would be The Predator, and then it'd be Requiem.
Okay. I think that was almost mine, except there have been 2 out of order. So, tell me yours again, Dylan.
My number 1 was Predator. My number 2 is Predators. My number 3 is Prey. My number 4 is Predator 2. My number 5 is AVP. My number 6 is The Predator. And my number 7 is the Requiem.
Yeah. So I went number 1, Predator. Number 2, Prey. Number 3, Predator 2. Number 4, Predators. Number 5, AVP. And then last, AVP 2, the Requiem.
Where's The Predator?
It's 6. 6, yeah.
Okay, so, and then what's your last one?
The last one was the AVP 2.
AVP, right.
So we had those in we had all those in common, except we rotated 2 and 3, and I think I think I was pretty close to the list from IMDb as well. So yeah, I pushed Prey up there pretty quick. But you're right. It needs to age a little bit. I'm in the hype of just seeing Prey, and I'm like, fucking Prey was badass.
Yeah, because remember when the Batman came out, everybody was kind of like, oh shit, this is the Batman. It's kind of like, oh, you forgot about Dark Knight.
Yeah,
you know?
I felt like Batman fans fucking bent over fucking the Dark Knight trilogy for Robert Pattinson, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I think you're forgetting how good those movies are. You know, just Batman Begins alone is stellar, but then they just get better, in my opinion. I know people feel like Dark Knight's the peak, but I do feel like it continues to get better. Because again,
I agree with you. I think that's an excellent third movie.
It's an excellent third movie in that trilogy.
Yes.
In that the story wraps up nicely. Yeah. There's a lot of great things in there. There's him being broken down. There's Alfred being like, I'm gonna walk away. There's Catwoman telling him you've given them everything already, and he's like, not everything, not yet. You know, there's the return of Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow. You saw the Joker beat him mentally in Dark Knight, but then you saw Bane beat the fuck out of him physically, and you're like, fuck. Yeah. Like that shit. As I'm like, do y'all just think about it as a standalone movie? Because you're supposed to see it like it's one story. I don't know. It's weird with the Dark Knight. I don't know. Batman. No, fans but
it's like I said. It's kind of like right away. It's kind of like the new movie comes and it's like, oh, it's the best. You know, it's kind of like when like Spider-Man.
No Way Home.
No Way Home came out. The first one.
Homecoming.
Yeah. It was like right away that was the best one. I was like, really? Like, man, I still think the first one is better than that
Spider-Man's a tough one for sure. You know what I mean? Like, and especially right now because we just had No Way Home, and I'm like, that was pretty gratifying.
No, that was great, and that's probably I really do think that probably is one of the best Marvel movies. Period. Just because they did everything so well.
It's really done well. It's like you don't cheat us with a new Green Goblin. You give us our Green Goblin.
His 2 other movies, I mean, I was like, I still probably watch Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 probably more than Tom Holland's 1 and 2. You know what I mean? I probably watched the Toby for 1 and 2 probably more than all the other ones. You know,
that's a fine point. That's a fine point.
Because like I said, I'm not a big fan of her Michelle Jones characterization. That Flash sucks.
That Flash
balls.
is the absolute worst Flash.
Like I've always said, I think Andrew Garfield has the best Flash.
That Flash is what Mary Jane is to Tobey Maguire's.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you're terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for you. No. Like anyone else, like any other woman, Betty Brant, anybody.
Like I said, my favorite is Emma Stone from all those movies.
Emma Stone's my
favorite.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, they just did it right on that one.
I'll take Bryce Dallas Howard's Gwen for Toby over Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dud. What do we got here? Gil says,
Double A, I agree with you totally.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, man. The man is here and is not to be trifled with. And no, all respect. We have one out of place, Double A, you and I, where it's like, is it two? Because I have Predator 2 at 3, you have Predator 2 at 4, and I have Predator. You have Predators at 2, and I have Predators at 4. Only because again, on my reviewing, I was like, man, I really do like that second one, and
Predators blew me away. I still love that movie so much.
I need a rewatch. Maybe it moves up, you know what I mean? But I really did.
Check it out. They have them on Hulu.
Yeah.
I think the only one they're missing is the Predator.
I have all 4 on digital, on my Vudu, so they're there for me to watch. Again, if you get this copyright warm with the 4, which now I'm sad I bought because now they're gonna do it with Prey in it probably, and I'm like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
So
maybe no, but that's good. I'd rather have that package and then Prey come out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
maybe do a nice collected set.
They will.
So, yeah.
But so I love the movies. I really do. I love the movies. I can really enjoy all those movies. The only thing is, I'm not really a big fan of the Predator itself
as a whole.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, okay, that's supposed to be the main character. Why does the motherfucker always lose in everything?
Yeah, we keep watching this guy's movies, and he's yet to get a win.
I was like, if you're gonna do maybe the next 3 Predator movies, put it against another alien species, where maybe they can actually finally make the Predator the protagonist. Instead of making it the antagonist of its own movie, make it the protagonist and make it fight some really fucked up like beasts.
Well, like you said, one of the parts you gravitated to in the Predator was when it tried to help us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're like, okay, this is a bigger threat. Well, even this is a bigger challenge.
How cool is that? You rooted for him.
I like that. Yeah, he was like her friend. He gives her the mark. And
I probably would have.
That's cool.
That movie probably would have went up for me more if it wasn't for the fucking ending.
Yeah,
because it loses still.
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, oh,
there's a sense of nobility about the Predator, but
it's only so much.
Only so much,
because
right?
Because it's like you said, it's like, man, the bastard is supposed to be the best hunter in the universe, and he's still using camouflage to
here we go, Double A. Here we go.
To beat these way less advanced species.
I've got
every fucking technology.
I've got what's got to happen here. We've got to have The Rock in the movie. He's the Arnold of today.
All right.
And then
you want to go for The Rock.
You do, but you have to have the Predator. You got to tell The Rock coming in. You got to tell The Rock you're gonna take a L. He ain't gonna like that. But you got to say, but you got to say this is the reason why. This is the reason why, because he said, look, you're gonna change the entire Predator franchise, because in this one, he's going to tell The Rock off. The Rock's going to tell the Predator off. He's going to be like, he's going to tell him, oh, your fucking fancy lasers and all this shit. And we're going to have the Predator take off all his shit. And they're just going to go at it like the bear and the Predator. Only it's The Rock and the Predator. And then...
But wouldn't you want to see a movie where he actually does go maybe to another world?
Yeah.
And he kills these creatures? Some really badass predators. You're talking about the Predator going up against some real badass predators. What about that
dinosaur skull or whatever we saw? Right? How did he kill that thing? I want to see that.
But you got to get a movie where you can actually root, how you did in AVP, where you rooted for him to beat the aliens. Well, you actually rooted, and the aliens is such a great antagonist.
Yeah, not even that Double A, but in Predator 2, we see that he beat one and got the skull. That didn't happen in AVP or AV2 because they both lose.
Yeah.
So... where's the story?
But that's what I mean, right? Man, I want to see that dude's fucking kill on the alien. I want to see like they gotta make a really cool alien race that's like vicious, where the predators come in and like fucking put that shit down.
Yeah. And I admire
maybe
that
almost like a Planet Hulk.
I like that.
Right.
I like that. So here's the
like
thing.
I want to see some movies where they win. Put it that way.
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. And so maybe you need to have him with like, there's a bunch of really shitty humans, or like, what's the case, right?
Enough with the humans, though.
I know, I'm agreeing with you, but then what do you do about dialogue? You know that they'll always have someone in the mix. I mean, you can make another race and like have that alien race describing things. Like you need exposition, right? Because the crowd won't follow.
With the Predator fan base, would you really need maybe dialogue?
I don't know if you could do a completely non-dialogue movie. Has that ever been done? Is there something like that?
Okay, what about it? You just put like subtitles or something of them talking,
like they're doing like the
some shit
noises and all that, and we're like,
shit.
oh shit, he's saying like
I would like that.
That's
the only way
because they're kind of tribal themselves. So that's
the only way I think these motherfuckers can ever win if they're the protagonists in their fucking own movie.
You know what?
Like they were in AVP.
As much as you like Predators, wouldn't that have been their time to win?
It should have been their time to win. I'm like, you lost on your own fucking planet. Like you put these people on. It's
like I feel like there's an alternate ending somewhere where like, you almost ended ended Rogue One style where him and her are hugging.
And that's what I think. Maybe that should have probably been the movie where I wouldn't, it would have been sucked that they killed Adrian Brody, but that movie should have been the movie.
Yeah.
So you could finish it off.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do a sequel.
Yeah. That's probably.
And then maybe that's when you show more of the parachuters coming down because you're like, man, they're fucked.
You did. You just wrote a better ending to that movie. You know what? And maybe that's why it didn't resonate as hard because people were like, well, number one, you fuck us by not having them win again, and then two, you never pay off the story that they lived. So it's like, what's the point of having them live? It was a no payoff. So, damn, AA, you don't really need another movie. You just need that movie with a different ending.
That should have been, Predators should have been a win for the Predator.
Yeah, because we already said that they were kind of like unsavory humans. Yeah. So who cares if they die?
Yeah, because I like the Adrian Brody character, but it's not like the Dutch character. If he would have died, I would have been like, oh shit, cool. They wiped him out. Yeah. Cool.
No, you definitely didn't want Arnold to die. Like that was like bullshit. You know what I mean? So
that should have been the movie. Yeah, you're right. That should have been the movie where they should have won. They should have fucking won on that one.
What about this? What about we number one, we've got stories to tell here. We've got to tell the story of how the gun gets back in the possession of the aliens. So they obviously, or the Predators, they take a win.
Was that a smart move on their part to even include the gun? Because now you're like, shit, well, obviously, a few centuries later, they somehow have it.
Yeah.
Or could you actually make it where they're protagonists now? And maybe that was like, maybe they team up.
And, it makes you wonder too, right? Like, it's like, well, how do they know? How do they know about the gun? Because that one died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how did the other ones know? And it makes me wonder.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe somehow you can make a Prey sequel where they actually team up.
Yeah.
Against a bigger predator.
Because again, too, you even in Predator 2, you get the vibe of that they have nobility because they could have just killed Danny Glover right then, but they don't. They're like, all right, you bested one of us. Yeah. Like you get a pass.
Gilbert comes at me. They lost to Danny Glover, an LAPD cop. Come on.
Yeah, we talked about Predator 2 for sure.
That's the thing that always throws me off about the Predator.
Or should I say?
They're supposed to be these extreme badass hunters,
and they are pretty badass.
Except they kill a few people,
but against humans are not badass.
Man.
Well, and against the aliens.
Like you said, Predators should have been the movie where they won.
Yeah,
they should have gave them that win on Predators. They should have let him kill Adrian Brody.
Maybe they do need Alf so they can beat Alf.
Man, I think Alf will find a way to fucking.
He'll be like, ah!
Yeah.
And eat some cats.
That's the only thing about these movies. It's kind of like, they're fun movies, but it's kind of like, why do we continue watching them? Because, like, even Prey, I was like, they're not going to fucking win. Like, I told my wife, I'm like, it's cool that they're coming out, but they're not going to win.
Well, they made our protagonist so likable too. You're like, oh,
but that's what I mean.
Her,
it's kind of like, well, you're never going to root for the motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know what? Predators was on its way because they made the protagonist unlikable at first.
But then they did a fucking, they beat him.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
You gotta give them a win. It's kind of like,
it's true.
It's like true. It's like what they said about WCW when they signed Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
They put a series of matches against him and Flair, but he kept beating Flair.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, fuck, I don't want to order the next pay-per-view because he's just going to beat Flair again. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, shit, you don't want to see another one because they're just going to fucking lose again. And then you're like, AVP, okay, great, they fucking won. And then, nope, that fucking alien pops out.
Okay,
And you're like,
I got it.
Oh,
I got it.
Man,
right
they
here.
fucking lost still.
We're about to be on Expendables, what, 4 or 5?
4.
Okay, 4. You got to incorporate the Predator. Wipes out about...
Look at that fucking killer.
Wipes out nearly everybody except maybe an aging Stallone, so he can recruit a new team of young Expendables.
See him, if they would have let him win in AVP and they would have let him win in Predators, maybe these films, maybe I would have liked the Predator even more if they at least let him win in 2 of those movies.
Where's the story of the Predator that mounted that alien skull? We need that one
he
story.
Lost to Danny Glover. So somehow that bastard killed Alien, but then he was ready to self-destruct against Danny Glover. You're telling me Danny Glover was tougher than a fucking alien?
No. That Predator was the Danny Glover of the Predators, and he was feeling like, oh shit, I hope I die on this, falling off this wall. I'm too old for this shit.
Man, so when he was younger, he was able to kick the alien's ass, and now he's older, he can't even beat Danny Glover.
And his name was Murtaugh Predator. Hey, well, you got to think about it, right? That Murtaugh faced Gary Busey too, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, shit. Yeah. See, it's just.
Man, you know what it reminds me of?
Age gets us all.
It reminds me of Venom, where he's like, I was a loser like you on my planet. I'm like, I remember when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? Venom's not a loser. I was like, what the hell?
Fuck, man. Yeah, that's the Predator. The Predator is a...
They should have given him the 2 victors in AVP, and they should have given him 2 in Predators. And I think what would that have record at been? 2 and 5? At least they still would have been, at least, okay, cool,
That's a shit record.
But it would have been aliens, and it would have been like a whole group of mercenaries,
Yeah, man, they never show us the Predator on the up. You're completely right. I didn't think about that. We're only led to believe they're bad.
He had the mobile pizza cutter.
Yeah, that's right. The one that was like,
yes.
Yeah, he got a lot of leeway with that.
If you're gonna make this Predator such a badass looking character, you gotta give him a few fucking wins. Make it the bastard or protagonist. You know what? He was a heel, but we started cheering for the motherfucker, so turn the motherfucker into a good guy.
And see, even in the first one, it's like, I guess we're meant to be like, Arnold barely inches out. He barely inches out.
Which would have been fine. It was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's the
that's
first
a rare.
one.
That's a rare.
It's rare. Yeah, it's a rare loss. Arnold fucking did it.
Yeah. So in Predator 2, you could have had him kill Danny Glover. You could have had him. You could have him kill you can't have him kill each other. You just gotta have him kill him. But then it kind of you're like,
yeah. But see, I think that's what
you know what. I think when they show these movies, that shit doesn't test well with the audience. The audiences are like, "What? The bad guy won?" And you make him the bad guy because he looks like a monster.
But see, I think what it is though is that Lethal Weapon put it so much in our head. I'm too over this shit.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, in the first movie you go up against Arnold, but then in this one you go up against Danny Glover and you still fucking lose.
I told you that's the Murtaugh of the Predators, though. They had that's his last ride. That's his last ride. You know what I mean? He was on his way out anyway.
This guy killed a big fucking beast, an alien, and some other fucking aliens, and he lost to Danny Glover.
I'm beginning to think, Double A, that was like the whole family's ship. That's what they.
I know, right? It's not even his.
That was like a group ship. They're just hanging out.
He took his dad's car.
Yeah. It was like in fucking Grumpy Old Men when they take him fishing for the last time. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, hey, he's going out. Fucking let him go have a last good run there.
Oh man.
You're like, you know what's a real shit? Earth. We'll take him to Earth. There's no way he can lose there. Like, oh fuck. Man. Look at this fucking old timer, man. Fuck. Yeah, Double A
You
changed my opinion about the Predator.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I've always been a bigger fan of Alien, because at least they fucking win.
Yeah, I guess they came back more W's.
They came back with a vengeance in part 3. In the beginning of part 3, they kill Hicks, they kill the little girl, and they impregnate Ripley. So I was like, damn, they fucking came back with a vengeance after Aliens.
That's their Empire Strikes Back for them. Those motherfuckers. Shit. All right.
Actually, no, we didn't. We actually did mention that he got killed by all 3. He's the only actor that has that distinction.
Yes, we mentioned that earlier on in the show. I think you joined us midway, Gilbert. Yeah, absolutely, man. All the love and respect to Bill Paxton, and we gave everybody the big recommendation to go watch Frailty.
Yes,
fantastic. I think he directed too.
Yes, he did. Man,
and a road.
So I had read about it. Like, there was one of those movies that I kept reading about. That I was like, you know what? I bought it on DVD. I went to a CD exchange. I bought it on DVD. I saw it. I was like, wow, that's a damn good movie.
Yeah. That's a movie that when I bring it up, people are like, never seen that. And I'm like, oh, you're sleeping on that. When I show that to people, they're like blown away. Yeah. We should cover Frailty for Halloween. People would be like, what the fuck? Yeah. Gil, have you seen Frailty? Let us know. Damn, Double A. It's fucking a down note to end on. It made me realize what a loser the Predator is.
It is. A fucking Predator. Man, he looks like such a badass. He's got this great look. He's got the great entrance music. And then he just keeps losing at fucking jobbers. It's kind of like,
wow.
Fuck.
He's like Braun Strowman and Ryback. And like fucking all those guys.
More.
Man, no, don't feed you no more, Predator. You just keep
fucking
getting
losing.
You know what? What if he fights the Predator?
The Predator
the Predator fights what am I thinking?
I was like, they fight each other.
The booze is sitting in. What if the Predator fights the Terminator? He could be the Terminator. It's a robot.
Man, I don't know. I think it would rip this to shreds.
Fuck, man. Sucks, man.
I think the Terminator would rip it back.
Can he fight? Who else is out there? RoboCop. He can fight RoboCop.
I think RoboCop with his fucking big gun would.
Fuck. Man, Predator's getting no wins with Double A in the world.
It would lose even Craven. No, that's a battle right there.
Gil says nope. I'll check it out. Definitely check out Frailty. Gil, let us know what you think.
Craven versus Predator.
Craven the Hunter?
Yeah.
Oh no, you ain't beating Craven, man. Come on, Craven will fuck you up. He's all about hunting. Man. He don't use no tech shit. He's old school, man. Yeah, fucking spears and fucking knives and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, despite what we think, the Predator is it is a science fiction figure that's beloved by so many people. Right now, Marvel just debuted issue #1 this past week.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, so Marvel has the rights now. No more Dark Horse.
No, Marvel has it right now.
Wow, the Predator. Oh yeah, because the Disney Fox thing, right? I mean, yeah, they got all the good stuff.
No, second Predator does win once.
Does he win?
When does he win? When does he win?
I think we meant by the end of the movie. He still looks great, and like you said, Double A, maybe we follow him because, like you said, Rob Liefeld said he's a good-looking character. I mean, he's a little little. I mean,
he's got the weapons, he's got the look, the helmet. It's just he fucking sucks.
There's got to be like a robot chicken or something like that around here about him being like a lovable.
But the movies are enjoyable. The movies are very enjoyable. One of the coolest looking characters.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Gil says the short
with Alien, Batman, and Predator, they came out 20 years.
We've got some of those comics up here. I have one. That's the one I have here. Oh no, I have him in the Predator.
No, the Batman Predators are up there.
Oh, okay, those are up there. Some of those maybe goes. I know he didn't beat Batman because nobody beats him, but
yeah, nobody does.
Disagree with that. I would have given that one to the Predator in the first 3-4 panels. You know what I mean?
Not even Superman beats Batman.
Okay, well again, if Danny Glover could beat the Predator, then I guess Batman could give him a couple of issues. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're going head to head. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? I don't know, Double A. That's all I got to say about the Predator, though. I think.
Yeah, they are enjoyable movies. Check them out. Check out
Watch Prey.
Right now, most of them are on Hulu. For whatever reason, though, the only one that you can't see on Hulu is the Predator.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I don't know why.
But pick up a copy. I mean, it's probably cheap, and it's.
But they have Predator. They have Predator 2. They have Predators. They have both AVP movies, and it's currently the only place you can see Prey. So. Okay. Yeah, so check them out.
Gil says Dead End on YouTube. Check it out. Okay, I think
Gilbert, if you're in our group,
drop it in the group. Gil, drop it in the Friday Night Faithful for you and the rest of the Friday Nighters. We'd love to.
There's a lot of Predator fans in our group.
Yeah, so. Yeah, a lot. And again, I'm a Predator fan.
Especially Leo.
Yeah, I've said it, and I'll say it here. I think I like the Predator better than the Alien. You know what I mean? And
I would too if it won more.
Yes, I wouldn't mind seeing him get some wins. Thank you, Double A, for making me realize what a lovable loser, Predator.
What a job guy is.
Hey, you know what? You need guys to do the jobs, right?
He's the Barry Horowitz of the universe.
He's putting people over, okay?
Okay.
And he put over the Native Americans recently. Jeez. He put over Arnold.
An Austrian.
He put over Danny fucking Glover, man. An old man. It was like giving Flair a win on his way out, Shit. Any final thoughts, Double? Besides that, which your final thoughts were already pretty cutting right now to the Predator.
Watch Predator. If you haven't ever seen even the first one, me and CM did a review of the first one again, and again we're just blown away by how good that first one still is. 35 years later.
The filmmaking like that, I think, is lost now.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that they can make a movie like the Predator or the original Predator.
And you know what? There's a lot of people that love Predator 2 that have a special soft spot for Predator 2.
Yeah.
Some people like Predators just because maybe Robert Rodriguez is kind of connected to that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that like AVP, that first one, because it was the first meeting of those two in the movies. There's a whole bunch of people that love Prey.
Yes.
So,
Prey's on the rise right now.
Yeah, so just check it out.
Which I think it's great. Again, lots of good watches out of here. I mean, there's obviously some you can leave out. You can leave out The Predator. You can leave out AVP too. But you could also YouTube the fight parts of it and still be pretty
cool. What is kind of cool, the main thing out of all these is that they all do connect to each other. It's not like one standalone movies. They actually do kind of connect. Prey does connect to Predator Part 2. Even the Predator has some footage or mentions, I think, Predators. And so, that's pretty cool when the franchise, they don't try to, change anything. They still kind of try to follow the other stuff.
The other thing is, too, is in Predator 2, if you take the story of the Gary Busey team and you have a team like that going after the Predator, then you make the Predator the protagonist.
Right.
Because you didn't like that team. You wanted to see them die.
That's what I'm saying.
So you could do that.
You got to make the fucking do the protagonist. Yes.
Absolutely. I agree with you. This is the one that kills the alien and gets the gun and all that.
Yes.
He's a good guy? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I like it. That's all I got to say about it. Double A. I mean, a great franchise. Mainly love it. Again, happy to engage with it.
This was the other thing.
Oh, yes. I kept hearing about this. Yeah. Jim Hopper from Stranger Things had a nice Easter egg from Predator. The dog tags Dutch finds are J. Hopper. And they actually call him the full name, Jim Hopper.
Yes.
They mention it several times. And I've even seen fans out there theorizing. They're like, well, Stranger Things takes place in 86.
Which would be funny, because the Duffer Brothers, have all that kind of shit, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to put their foot in the Predator franchise.
I can tell you right now that if you have Jim Hopper die in the jungles of some South American
that's
country
a terrible
to the Predator,
way, right?
You just killing that. The Stranger Things fans will fucking tear you up.
After surviving the Demogorgon and everything.
Exactly. No fucking way.
Well, but then they showed you, right, that, it could show you, the Predator,
It's cool to make things canon. I do get that. If you got nothing else, Double A, I'll wrap it on up here for us. Something we like to say at the end of every show for all you Friday Nighters and the Friday Night Faithful is that if there's something that you want to do, a hope, a dream that you want to accomplish, go out there and do it. Today's the day. Make it today that you set forth on that path and seize the day.
Like all the Earthlings did on the Predator.
Like all the Earthlings certainly seize the day on the Predator's ass. And the dumbass Predator making fucking mistakes. Dutch would say to you, come on, do it. Yeah. Do it now. Kill me. And the other thing we like to say is, like our good friend Captain America, who would no doubt handle up the Predator.
And it's not a virgin.
We know now. Is to do whatever it takes. if you are facing a predator, you cannot rely on brawn. You have to do whatever it takes. You have to use your brain the way that Dutch did, the way that Naru did in Prey,
the way that Danny
Glover did it, man, because he thought he was too old for that shit.
Oh my goodness!
Apparently he was not. So, some angry Predator fans are gonna come back and be like, "What about all the people he killed before those people?"
Oh my goodness! He didn't complete the mission.
You know, I'm telling you got to complete the mission, man. Get the full hunt going there. So
still lasting Danny Glover.
Damn,
bitch.
You know, I would have thought Bill Paxton would have had a better chance.
He didn't even last.
He didn't last. So he threw the golf ball at him. I was like, wow, that was something right there. Something to say there. So, guys, make sure you go subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, follow, and share on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. All those places have a place to leave a rating, a ranking. Give us 5 stars or whatever
it helps.
It is.
It really does.
It really does help. We appreciate you guys being here. We love coming every week to have these type of conversations with you. We have no idea what next week will be right now, but we look forward to thinking about it. Go check out Prey on Hulu. And all the other Predator movies, and let us know what you think. We'll put it in the. We'll put a. There's always a poll on Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, there's always a poll there. There's a poll from last week regarding Sandman and what your favorite episode was. And now I fucked that up because they dropped a new episode. So maybe your favorite episode is the new episode.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. Who knew? Now that episode's incomplete because we didn't cover the whole series. We got to go watch it tonight. So we're gonna go check out the new episode of Sandman, guys, and we'll see you guys here next Friday for another episode of Just Another Friday Night. Double A.
Good night.
Good night.